Tenemos audio.
We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, December the 16th, 2014. President, our Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Palacios, Precinct 2, Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself, we have a quorum. Anyone sign up under open forum?
Yes, sir, Judge, I did. I wanted to give a presentation or an update to the board on developments that are out there. One is the Acosta subdivision, and the other one is the Peñitas pump house. There's a development that's north or west of Edinburg called Acosta subdivision. It's on 107 in Glasscock. Over the past 3 to 4 weeks, there's been some development on water issues out there. It seems like the ground is just bubbling up through the area. Commissioner Joe Flores has been out there pumping water out of that area for about 3 to 4 weeks. And we did go out there working with the health department and a letter we received to try to get the district engaged. We did take some water samples. The water seems to be clear. Some of the water did have chlorine in it. We did meet with Sherryland Water Supply. They did have somewhat of a leak out there. They've repaired that leak. We are taking elevations of the groundwater to see if it's not tied into a canal. I know that Commissioner Flores is also looking and working with TxDOT to see what can be done out there. We will be moving forward with some possible borings to identify the area. We're looking at some historical maps. It appeared that area might have been an old dump site. You dig down about 2 feet, you pick up rocks, caliche, refrigerators. So it looks like it was filled up and then about 2 foot of dirt put on top of it and these homes built up on it. But we'll continue briefing the board on that. The other item was on FEMA regarding the Peñitas Pump House. We were able to meet with FEMA on it, the district manager from Irrigation District Number 1 and the engineers from Dannenbaum. We did get some direction and clarification from FEMA on what specs to be utilizing. The engineers are going to be preparing a cost estimate to present back to the board to see which way we're going to be moving in that area. We also have another development over in precinct number 4 of a possible subdivision. Got water bubbling up also through the bottom that we're going to start evaluating. We don't know if this is all groundwater issues that are coming up and settling in the areas, but we'll keep the board abreast of what's going on in those areas.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Judge, we have no concerns.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Number 4,
Under item 4, approval of interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and County of Hidalgo LJ Drainage Project 13 tracks. Projects limit from Cesar Chavez Road to Alamo Lateral. I believe legal counsel has been working on this interlocal, and I'll have them expand on it.
It's basically 13 tracts of real property being conveyed that was acquired by the precinct on behalf of the county, which they're now selling to the drainage district.
Everything in order?
Everything's in order for the interlocal.
Move for approval?
Second.
those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes, I'm sorry, I thought you were doing it.
5A, requesting approval of final negotiated agreement for professional engineering services with R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation as it relates to Precinct 2 Las Milpas Road crossing South Floodwater Channel east of 907 Alamo Road. Approved for negotiation by Hidalgo County Drainage District 1 Board of Directors November 18, 2014. Commissioner Tito Palacios, this is in your area. This is a bridge that we've got some scouring and some chipping away that's happened on the pilings. So based on the board's direction, move forward in hiring an engineer to prepare the preparation plans to get those repairs done.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval of work authorization number 1 with R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation in the amount of $16,416 as it relates to engineering services for Precinct 2 Las Milpas Road crossing South Floodwater Channel east of FM 907 Alamo Road.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval of work authorization number 2 with R. Gutierrez Engineering Corporation in the amount of $2,592 as it relates to surveying services for Precinct 2, Las Milpas Road crossing South Floodwater Channel east of FM 907 Alamo Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, approval of subconsultants of TEDSI Infrastructure Group for Phase 2 of the Master Drainage System for the design and expansion of the lateral drain outfall system Precinct 1 and Precinct 4 in accordance with that certain agreement by and between Hidalgo County Drainage System Number 1 and TEDSI Infrastructure Group dated 23rd day of March 2004. The subconsultants that TEDSI is presenting are LNG Engineering Laboratories, RGV Right-of-Way Services, LLC, Civil Systems Engineering, Inc., Quintanilla Hadley and Associates, Inc., DOS Logistics, and Valley Right-of-Way Consulting Services, LLC.
Move for approval?
Second.
What is it that we're trying to do here?
Basically, under our contracts, the prime contractor has to delineate or advise the board what subconsultants he's going to be using on this project. So it's not that any work being issued right now or to them, but that you have to be aware of the sub-consultants that the engineer is going to be using.
Have we ever done this before?
We've done it in different forms, Judge. We've either submitted in a supplemental, but going with legal, there's no need for a supplemental. It is just delineating to the board the sub-consultants that are being brought by the engineers.
I looked at the contract. The contract requires prior written approval. Before these subcontractors are actually contracted. Have we ever done that?
We have done it before using supplementals in discussion with Mr. Crane. The issue is notifying the board, and if the board agrees with those sub-consultants, when the prime engineer hires those sub-consultants, then the supplemental agreement is issued, or a work authorization is issued to the prime for those sub-consultants.
The way I understand it, these contracts, you have basic services and you have special services.
Yes, sir.
The basic services is a contractor that we hire.
That is correct, sir.
In this case, it was Tetsi.
That is correct, sir.
Then for the special services, do we also hire the subs, or who
No,
does
the prime
hiring?
does.
Who does?
The prime. The one that has the basic engineering contract?
Yes.
He is the one that hires the subs, but he has to advise the board as to what those subs that he's going to be using are.
And what about the negotiations? Who handles that?
Basically, under the contract, the prime negotiates with the subs, then the prime presents to the board the fees that the sub is requiring of him, and also he has two options. He can utilize his basic cost of hourly rates that he has in the basic contract, or he can use a 10% pass-through that's delineated under special services. Those are presented to the board for the board's consideration.
So Tetsi, in this case, would have entered into agreements with the subcontractors.
Yes, sir.
And then who would represent us?
The board, as far as negotiations, Teddy would submit it to the drainage district. We would look at the costs associated with it. We would go to the precincts where the projects are being done. If everybody's in agreement, then we present to the board for the board's approval or reject.
And how, I noticed the contract is, the basic contract is dated March of 2004. All right. So Tetsi has been involved in actually, I guess, doing work, basic contract work since that particular contract
Yes,
was
sir.
entered into.
And we brought it back to the board several weeks ago for an extension of 2 years to 2016.
And do you have a listing of all of the subcontractors that Tetsi has hired?
It's either on the previous work or these subs that he's bringing to date for y'all's consideration. We can pull out all the work authorizations that have been issued to Tedzy in the past under this project, Judge, and I can send you a copy, whoever the subs were.
Okay. The reason I'm asking this is my concern is with a company that I've been advised that you have an interest in, Valley Data Collections Systems or Services. Do you have an interest in that company?
My wife has an interest in that company, yes, sir.
And does that company do business for the drainage district?
The company does work for a lot of different people out there as far as doing topographic work, sir.
But does it do business for the drainage district?
It would do business through the prime if they're hired to do so, sir.
So in this case, they would have been, the company would have been hired by the basic contractor, Tetsi or Dannenbaum or whomever.
Whoever it may be, yes, sir.
May have been. And who did the negotiation as to how much they were to earn?
They negotiated with the subs on the work, and that was presented to the board for their consideration.
I've been told that that particular company did over $1 million worth of work in 1 year, and that would have been in 2007.
Be more than happy if y'all send a request to see what work Valley Data has done, sir.
But that company has been doing work for the district through these contractors.
For some contractors, if they're hired, they do work for them, sir.
You know, your contract requires you to provide us with knowledge or information about any company that you may have a potential conflict of interest with.
Okay, sir.
And have you ever notified the board?
I have done work myself for the board in the past, sir, And I believe if I have created a conflict, I'd be more than happy to look into it, sir, and review it with the board.
Well, do you think there would be a conflict if you're negotiating in behalf of the Board of Directors, and there's going to be work provided to or given to or entered into between the contractor and your company?
It's not my company, okay?
Well, your family's
Okay,
company.
all
I
right,
would imagine that,
And I believe there's some items in there regarding to the conflicting issue regarding what percentage of revenues that I or my family would have an interest in the company. I'll be more than happy to look into that or have legal look into it.
I'm sorry, what was that? That there are what?
There's percentages, I believe, regarding what conflicts constitute, Judge.
I think you're talking about the conflict of interest that members of the Board of Directors, the elected officials, would have if in fact they violated a certain percentage of the work being given to one of their family members.
Yes, sir.
But you're not one of us.
No, sir.
I mean, you're not even an employee.
Yes, sir.
You're an employee of Integ,
Yes, sir.
and Integ is a consultant corporation that we hired to do the Drainage District Director work.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that doesn't really apply to you, does it?
Again, Judge, I would have to look into the issues.
See, my concern is here you are representing us, entering into contracts with the contractors, and then the contractors entering into contracts with your your family's company. Don't you really seriously believe that that constitutes a conflict of interest?
I cannot answer that this time, Judge.
That's the reason we're trying to see if we can hire or have a full-time drainage district director from now on, after the first of the year. Right, Steve? Is that correct to say that?
I think your statement is factually correct.
But whoever we hired, Commissioner, he's going to have the same responsibilities as well as Godfrey does.
And if it shows that there is a conflict of interest, then I'll request my family to shut down their firm. If the
Yeah,
board feels
because
it's a
once
conflict.
once you're a full-time employee, a county employee, from what I understand, you shouldn't have any business to do with the county or the drainage district at all.
So how can we go about determining how much work your family's company has done for the Drainage District?
I guess you would have to, the district would have to request of the primes that have used my family's company to dictate or present to y'all what they paid that company.
But the entire selection of these companies is done by the contractor. You were not involved in the selection
No,
process.
sir.
Are there agreements that are entered into in writing between that company and the contractor?
You would have to talk to the prime contractor on that, sir.
You play no role whatsoever in the negotiations or the selection?
No, sir.
All right. In this particular case, none of the companies that are being presented to us, you don't have any interest in any of them, do you?
I have no interest in any of the companies that are listed there, nor do my family members have any interest in the companies there, nor do anybody in my family have any interest in any of those companies.
All right, are there any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
May I proceed, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Item E, approval of sub-consultants of TESI Infrastructure Group for Precinct 1, 2012 bond referendum improvement projects in accordance with that certain agreement by and between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and TESI Infrastructure Group dated the 9th day of April 2013.
Move for approval? Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's the same group of people, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 2 to the work authorization number 4A, which TESI Infrastructure Group in the amount of $5,125.98 as it relates to material testing for Monte Cristo Drain Control Structure, Precinct 1, 2012 bond referendum improvement projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G, requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 2 to work authorization number 4B with TEDSI Infrastructure Group in the amount of $6,394.50 as it relates to material testing for Westlaco North Lateral Control Structure, Precinct 1, 2012 bond referendum improvement projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item H, requesting approval of work authorization number 17 with TEDSI Infrastructure Group in the amount of $24,507.85 as it relates to material testing and construction management required for Precinct 1 Spanish Palms outfall improvements, Precinct 1 2012 bond referendum improvement projects.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Requesting approval of supplemental agreement number, correction, not 3, but 2, with LNG Engineering to agreement for professional services Precinct 3 La Jolla Watershed Improvement Project, amendment of project team.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And again, just to make a listing on the project team, it's LNG Engineering Laboratory, Civil System Engineering, Jonel Garza Jr. and Associates LLC, Right Away Surveying Service LLC, and again, I do not, nor my family, have any interest in any of those firms.
What kind of services does that company provide, the Valley Data Collection System?
They're a data collection service, sir.
A data collection? And what type of data were they collecting for the drainage project?
Judge, you'd have to talk to the primes on that stuff.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Item 6, requesting approval of work authorization number 15 in the amount of $229,500 to agreement for professional services Phase 2 of the master drainage system for the design and expansion of the lateral drain outfall system for Precinct number 1 and Precinct number 4 with TEDSI Infrastructure Group as it relates to FEMA mapping activity statement number 3 for approximately 25.5 miles of HCDD number 1 master drainage system. This is for updating of the FEMA maps in those particular precincts.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7 of 2013 bond payments. Request to issue manual payments once reviewed and audit procedures are complete on the following items. A, request for payment number 1, RDH Site and Concrete LLC in the amount of $220,448.45 related to construction contract number HCDD1 14-010-0506 Precinct 2 Rural Drainage Development Seminole Valley Subdivision Area PO number 625110.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, requesting for payment number 4, Texas Cordia Construction LLC in the amount of $9,117 related to construction contract number HCDD1 14-004-0211 Precinct 4 Edinburgh Drain Stub Out to South Main Drain Control Structure PO number 624505.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, request for payment, final payment from GP7 Construction, Inc. in the amount of $8,857.63 related to construction contract number HCDD1 13-021-04-298- Precinct 2 Rural Drainage Development FM 495 Drain Trenton Road Field Crossing PO number 624901.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
8A, request approval for budget amendment from the district's general fund in the amount of $200,000 to fund Precinct 2, La Almizpa Road Crossing, South Floodwater Channel, east of FM 907, Alamo Road project.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, request approval of budget amendment from the district's general fund in the amount of $229,500 to fund work authorization number 15, FEMA mapping activity statement number 3 for approximately 25.5 miles from agreement for professional engineering services, MDS Phase 2 lateral Precinct 1 and 4, BOD 03-23-2004.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Oh, and item 9, we're going to be deferring, moving that till sometime in January, at our meeting in January. There's no action needed at this time.
On item 10, I don't know who put that up on the agenda. Ms. Briones?
Acá está, Paul.
Morning, Paul.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. It's the tax roll totals, and I'm just going to go over them real briefly. The total partials, 307,091. The total market value for the drainage was 35,223,180,090 cents. The total taxable value is 27,797,044,065 for a total levy of 26,632,748.11. So you can approve those totals.
You don't need action for that, right?
No, you don't need any action, dude. Sir?
Yes.
Move for
Approve
approval.
the tax.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under executive session, I'd like to take no action at this time. I'm still waiting for a report to come in.
All right, sir. This time entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to be convening our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, December the 16th, 2014. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. And we have a young man, Mr. Nico Palacios, from Boy Scout Troop Number 1954, who is going to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance. Here he is. You want to come up here, Mito? Young man happens to be Commissioner Palacios, Joseph Palacios' his nephew. And Counsel.
Dear Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessing of being able to be in a country where so many people can take part in government. I think sometimes we don't appreciate it, but we need to, because there's a lot of people in the world who don't have the privilege. We ask you to especially bless Commissioner Tito Palacios, who is going to retire, hopefully with God's blessings, your blessings, dear Lord, for he and his family. And we do thank you for all your blessings. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Please remain standing. We need to acknowledge and honor the memory of a gentleman by the name of Guadalupe Valdemar G.V. Guerra, the father of Mr. Valde Guerra, our Hidalgo County Executive Officer. Mr. G.V. Guerra was a veteran of the United States Army. He is survived by his wife, Maria Viola Jimenez Guerra, and his 5 children and 20 grandchildren. Also this week we had the passing and need to acknowledge in the memory of McAllen City Commissioner Scott Crane, who passed away Saturday, a well-known businessman and civic leader here in our county, survived by his wife Sasha and young children Taylor and Dico. Thank you. Maybe seated.
Thank you.
Hand me this one.
At this time, we're going to be moving up to item number 20A. Acknowledge the presence of our state representative, Mr. Armando Mando Martinez.
Julie. Hello, good morning, Judge and
Morning, sir.
Commissioners. What a great honor to be here today, especially to recognize such a wonderful individual who has done so much for our communities and a notable public servant. And on behalf of the state of Texas and the Texas House of Representatives, I'd like to read a resolution in honor of Commissioner Hector Tito Palacios of Precinct 2. The resolution reads as follows. Whereas Hector Tito Palacios is concluding his tenure as Hidalgo County Commissioner for Precinct 2 in 2014, and having served that post with distinction for the past 15 years. And whereas first elected in 1999, Tito Palacios was returned to office by his constituents for 2 subsequent terms, during which time he has focused on addressing the needs of the county through important infrastructure projects, along with overseeing the maintenance of roads and parks. And his key contributions include assisting in the construction of 2 community resource centers and allocating funds for the improvement of unincorporated colonia settlements along the border area. And whereas in addition to his vital work on the Commissioner's Court, Mr. Palacios has dedicated his time to a host of civic organizations, among them the Hidalgo County Metropolitan Planning Organization, the Hidalgo County Housing Finance Corporation, the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council, and he has also given generously of his time as a board member for Amigos del Valle and the Region 1 Education Service Center. He has served his colleagues on the FAR San Juan Alamo ISD School Board variously as president, vice president, and treasurer. And whereas an alumni of the University of Texas Pan American, Mr. Palacios was recognized by UTPA's Friends of the Library as a notable Valley Hispanic. He has also been honored with the induction into the Rio Grande Valley Walk of Fame, and he is a former mayor of the city of San Juan. He has previously enjoyed a 27-year career with the Department of Human Services. In all his endeavors, he is supported by a fine family that includes his wife, Berta Sainz Palacios, his 3 children, Jay, Melissa, Marisela, and his 2 grandchildren, Avery and Cody. And whereas the well-being of our communities is enhanced immeasurably by the efforts of skilled and committed public servants, and Tito Palacios may take pride in many ways he has contributed to the quality of life in Hidalgo County, and now therefore be it resolved that Hector Tito Palacios be commended for his exemplary work in Hidalgo County Commissioner's Court, and that he be extended sincere best wishes for the future. Signed by your state representative, District 39 Commissioner Armando Mando Martinez. Congratulations.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
And Commissioner, Judge, Commissioners, I'd also like to make one final presentation to Commissioner Palacios in honor of his 15 years of unselfish service to the community with an official flag that we flew over our Texas state capitol in your honor, sir. May God bless you, and may God bless Texas. Thank you.
Mando. Turn around. Thank you, Mando.
Commissioners, Judge,
Aye.
on behalf of Commissioner Cuellar, we also have a resolution honoring our longtime Commissioner Tito Palacios. Whereas Hector Tito Palacios has worked for the betterment of his communities for more than 50 years, 41 of which have been holding a political office. He served on several boards, councils, and commissions, including the school board president for FAR, San Juan Alamo, PSJA, Independent School District, the mayor of San Juan, and a member of the board or council of Region 1 Education Service Center, the Lower Rio Grande Development Council, Hidalgo County Housing Finance Corporation, and many others. Whereas Mr. Palacios served 4 terms of public service to Hidalgo County as Precinct 2 Commissioner, improving the lives of residents in his precinct by maintaining and improving over 123 miles of roadways, providing over $6.1 million in drainage improvements, building up colonias with more than $5.9 million worth of projects, preserving over 50 acres of parkland and 5 parks, and serving more than 100,000 people through the community resource centers. He was the first Hidalgo County Commissioner to introduce green building initiatives in our county. And whereas he graduated from PSJA High School in 1957, having made his mark as a 4-year letterman in football, serving as team captain and selected to All-District, as well as being a 3-year letterman in baseball, serving as team captain and also selected to All-District, playing center field on the 1957 district champions. He attended Pan American University, playing on Bronx baseball team as an outfielder. Commissioner Palacios played baseball with 2 semi-pro teams from 1959 to the late 60s. Whereas Commissioner Palacios went on to work for the Texas Department of Human Services for 27 years, working his way up from a caseworker to Director of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Mr. Palacios became the first state employee to run for public office in Hidalgo County. And whereas his passion for public services enabled him to contribute to the economic growth and prosperity, not just to his hometown communities in Hidalgo County, but to all the county. Born and raised in FAR before settling in San Juan, Mr. Palacios has seen his community grow from dirt roads to paved neighborhoods and thriving communities. And whereas Mr. Palacios plans to continue serving the community in other capacities and looks forward to spending more time with his wife and high school sweetheart, Berta Saenz Palacios, their children, Jay, married to Eliza Palacios, Melissa, married to Amory Patterson, and Maricela Roman Garcia, and 2 grandchildren, Avery D. Benitez and Cody Huffman. Therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and honors Precinct 2 Commissioner Hector Tito Palacios for his outstanding service, dedication, and commitment to the community and citizens of his precinct and to all of Hidalgo County. And also, sir, we have a plaque in your honor.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And if his family can join us up here for a photo. This is Tito Palacios' family, please. Come on up. Actually, do you mind getting on the end? You're tall. Wow.
All right, over here. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
And if you could stay there. And everybody who's here to honor the, Commissioner Palacios, if you could please come up for the photo. Rick Diaz. Some get on the set as well, please. We might have to double up. She's going to get the shot. on just a second. She's going, it's such a big group, we have to go up there to take it. All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Also, the mayor of McAllen, Mr. Jim Darling, who I understand wants to say a few words. Jim?
Thank you and good morning, Commissioners. Those are pretty hard acts to follow, so I'm going to go, if I could, read this proclamation from the City of McAllen. This is State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, City of McAllen. Whereas Hidalgo County Precinct Number 2 Commissioner Hector F. Palacios, known to family and friends as Tito, has dedicated 50 years to local government. And whereas during his tenure representing the communities of Far, San Juan, Hidalgo, Alamo, and McAllen, County Commissioner Palacios achieved a substantial number of projects that benefited his fellow citizens, including maintaining and improving over 123 miles of roadway, providing over millions of dollars in drainage improvements, providing drainage and upgrade to colonias, preserving over 50 acres of parkland and 5 parks. And I might point out that Charlie Curtis Park is one we worked on together. I'm very proud of that. And every time I go by that park, Commissioner, I'll be thinking of you. And preserving over all those parklands and serving more than 760,000 people through community resources. Whereas McAllen has benefited greatly from Commissioner Palacios' leadership, as he has always kept abreast of the most important issues, especially drainage. A champion for drainage, Commissioner Palacios worked diligently and hand in hand with McAllen leaders to address and improve drainage in many large areas of Hidalgo County in and around McAllen that now to this day do not flood, and that's attributed to him and his dedication. Whereas through cooperative leadership, understanding the needs of our region, and listening to its residents, Commissioner Palacios worked to ensure the needs of residents were adequately met and on their way toward achieving a better quality of life for all of our citizens. And whereas the City Commission of the City of McAllen wishes it to convey its most sincere appreciation to Commissioner Palacios for his dedication, his leadership, his support, and most importantly, his friendship, and wish him many, many wonderful endeavors. Now, therefore, I, Jim Darling, Mayor of the City of McAllen, Texas, by the virtue of authority vested in me, and on behalf of myself and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim December 16, 2014 as Hector Tito Palacios Day in the City of McAllen.
Move for
Thank you.
approval.
Second. Favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
If we could take a picture, Mayor Jim Darling. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, great.
Good morning. Because he is our own homeboy, we did have our own presentation to him at our last city meeting. And I did want to be able to share a few words on behalf of my community and the San Juan City Commission. And as you've heard, he definitely is a person that has cared tremendously for our community. He is a good long friend of my father, who has since passed, and that is how I got to know Tito Palacios. And as I spoke and mentioned, when we first met, we probably weren't seeing eye to eye. But when I saw the work that he did in our community, and he continues to do, definitely the life in our community has improved tremendously from the assistance and help, compassion, and dedication that Commissioner Palacios has contributed and given to all of us. Greatly missed, but I know because he does live in my community, we're going to keep him busy. And so I want to say thank you on behalf of all of us for over all the years and all the different things that you've made possible, and particularly in this past year that we talk about, do miracles happen? Yes, they do. There's some roads that are going to get great improvement that we thought we wouldn't be done without your assistance. Thank you for your commitment, for your time, and to your family for sharing you with us very selflessly. Congratulations on your retirement, but more than anything else, I'm ready to get you to work in San Juan. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Picture.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Judge, Commissioners, we have the folks from La Unión del Pueblo Entero, Ms. Teresa Zavala? Barrera, and Daniel Diaz to present something to Commissioner Palacios.
Buenos días, mi nombre es Teresa Barrera, vivo en la colonia El Jay y soy miembro de la Unión del Pueblo Entero y estoy aquí para darle las gracias a las familias de la colonia El Jay por todo el tiempo que el señor Tito Palacios pudo trabajar con nosotros por medio de la Unión del Pueblo y las juntas que hacíamos ahí en la colonia. Él lo reuníamos y él estaba ahí presente. Y también quiero decir de que cuando no teníamos 3 calles, había en la colonia y se necesitaba una. Entonces, para que el bus diera vuelta. Entonces, él, después de 11 años, nos pudo hacer la calle. Y también un parque que le pedimos, y también tardamos 13 años, pero después de 13 años, también nos concedió hacer el parque. Y a los que les daba esa molestia de cuando algo había en el parque mal, era el señor Charlie Contreras y al señor Ricardo Cuellar, que muy amablemente él nos atendía. Y pues gracias y que sea muy feliz el señor Palacios y aquí estamos.
Puede decir viva Burgos.
No, Matamoros, Tamaulipas.
Just a really quick English recap on that. Just on behalf of Lupe, on behalf also of Teresa Barrera and Colonia El Jay, who Commissioner Palacios, Tito Palacios, has worked diligently there for several years now with the fixing of many of the streets there and going to a lot of the house meetings, community meetings at the Colonia, and even including a park. And she didn't mention this, but the park is named after Teresa Barrera, so she's going to be there for a long time. That's her name. So she just wanted to, just thank you for that, and thank you for your time, Commissioner Palacios. Congratulations. Thank you. Si le puede presentar esto.
Sí.
Al comisionado.
Le quiero, con mucho respeto y cariño, entregar esta placa al señor Palacios.
Va a ir arriba a tomar la foto también. There. Okay, everybody take a look over here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, great.
Judge, Commissioners, we have representatives from Proyecto Azteca and Equal Voice Network, Ms. Amber Arriaga and Ann Williams-Cass, that wanted to make a presentation. Commissioner Palacios.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'll keep this short. Proyecto Azteca and the Equal Voice Network would like to present Commissioner Hector Tito Palacios with this plaque in recognition and gratitude for your years of dedicated service.
Okay, go ahead and take a look at me. Okay.
Commissioner, Judge, Commissioners, we also have the folks from Project Arise that wanted to honor Commissioner Palacios as well. I'll introduce Ms. Ramona Casas.
Gracias. Buenos días, juez y comisionados. Mi nombre es Ramona Casas de la organización Arise y estamos muy orgullosos esta mañana de ser parte de este grupo de residentes, reconociendo la labor de nuestro comisionado Tito Palacios del Precinto 2, ya que como Arise y Comité Voces del Pueblo hemos trabajado con él por 15 años. En juntas comunitarias hemos podido lograr tener las peticiones que la comunidad le presentó en las juntas, como fue un parque, que logramos tenerlo, un centro comunitario, el alumbrado de nuestra comunidad, al igual que el drenaje de nuestras colonias, y pues estamos muy contentos por todos esos logros y más que nada queremos felicitarle porque cada vez que el Comité Voces del Pueblo le invitaba a venir a escuchar las necesidades, usted estuvo ahí siempre y fue parte iniciador de nuestro Comité Voces del Pueblo con la marcha del Día del Niño, que siempre participa hasta el día de hoy. Y en esa memoria queremos reconocerle con los residentes de las colonias de Far, Álamo y Edinburgh, y queremos reconocerle en colaboración con Arise. We recognize our Commissioner Tito Palacios for Precinct 2 to be working for 15 years in the colonias with the Comité Comunitario Voces del Pueblo. We working for 15 years and we do a lot of successful issues with the needs of the colonias. He always been able to listen to the community, be in the committees, and be initiator with the Comité Voces del Pueblo con la Marcha Día del Niño. And until today, he's part of the committee. And we so happy because he responded to the needs of the colonias, and he working with us to the pavements of the streets, and also lightings in the streets of the colonias, and the drainage. And he always been collaborate with us. And also another successful is to make the centro para recolectar basura, the collection station center in El Gato. So we are so happy and proud for all the work you do in the colonias. And we are here with sincere gratitude to recognize Tito Palacios for collaboration with us for 15 years and serving to our families to provide a better quality of the life. Congratulations y esperamos que el futuro le traiga muchas bendiciones. God bless you in your future. Thank you so much. And we have this plaque.
more right here. Ready? 1, 2.
We want to acknowledge the presence of some of our elected officials here in the audience. We have Mr. Armando Garza, San Juan City Commissioner. We have Mr. Marcos Ochoa, the newly selected JP Precinct 3, Place 2. We have Mr. J.R. Gaitan, the newly selected, then elected Constable Precinct 4. And we have our newly elected District Attorney, Mr. Rick Rodriguez. Mr. Palacios?
Judge, Commissioners, I have a few words. Dad, since 1973, when you first started running for school board, I was a young little boy. But since then, you're my mentor, you're my hero, but most importantly, you've been my best friend. Father, you've served your community well. You've done it with honesty, dignity, and most importantly, Father, you've served it with integrity. And for that, this community and our family love you forever. May God bless you, always.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, Ms. Townsend? I know we're on the list of open forum.
Yes.
We can address it now.
I'll do it now. The Owls just wanted to tell Tito thank you. So we just wrote a card. We don't have a plaque, but hopefully you'll know that the feelings are sincere. I said, Tito, we Owls would like to thank you for your service, your honesty, your being careful with taxpayers' money, and you're always showing up early for meetings. Now for that, we need a plaque. We wish you blessings for the future, and may God always bless you and your family. Love and prayers from the Owls.
Thank you.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes.
Commissioner?
With four with the glasses on that eyes.
What can I say? Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I'd like to thank everybody that had anything to do with my being a commissioner, especially the judge and the rest of the court. I've learned quite a bit from each and every one of you, including you, Joe. You know, overwhelmed. I didn't expect this. all that you mentioned that I've done, I couldn't do it or haven't done it without the help of these people up here. And of course, with the support from every single one of you. And I have enjoyed the 16 years that I've served the community. And this is not a wake, no es un velorio. And I'll be around. I didn't die. I'm still around. I'll be around. And including you guys. And of course, the rest of you and the owls. You know, it has been a tremendous trip and experience serving the county. And like I say, I would be at some of your meetings, not all. But again, thank you very much. I appreciate the support that you have given me, the conversation that we've held over 16 years, the difference of opinion that we have been able to address without getting personal on our differences. And le doy las gracias a todos y voy a estar aquí. Vamos a seguir sirviendo a la comunidad. We'll continue to serve the community in any way that we can. So again, on behalf of my entire family, I want to appreciate all of these comments that you have made. I appreciate them. I didn't expect them, pero le doy las gracias a todos y vamos a seguir trabajando. So, ya gastamos mucho tiempo en la junta. So, especially my wife, my family. I want to make a comment on. I've been very blessed with the support of the entire family. Berta, my wife, I'm very proud of you for having, by the way, recently the school board, PHA school board, wisdom, the best decision they have made. They named the school after my wife, Berta S. Palacios Elementary. Thank you all. We'll continue with the meeting, pero I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Mr. Ofracio, any concerns?
Commissioner, I wanted to say I'm going to miss you also. I'm going to miss your support.
I'm sure you will.
Yes, Judge, I have a list of concerns for the consent agenda. I would like to ask that consent agenda item 2V, as in Victor, 3A, 3C, 12C, 15E, 15G, and 15S be pulled for discussion.
Move for approval of consent agenda excluding all those listed by the auditor.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 2V will take no action. Item 3A and 3C, we're recommending approval, subject to approval of regular agenda item 23L. If we can have action subject to that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 12C is requesting approval of payment for 2014 membership dues for Sheriff J.E. Eddie Guerra to the Southwestern Border Sheriff's Coalition in the amount of $200, and this is for fiscal year 2014. The Sheriff's Office has been able to make use of this Border Coalition. This is for calendar year 2014.
Due to some administrative error, the bill was never processed for payment. However, the sheriff has been utilizing the membership, has been going on trips and meetings throughout the year, so we're recommending approval of the membership dues.
Move approval.
Second.
To address the auditor's concerns, we have been having the benefit of that organization.
Yes, throughout the course of the year, yes.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 15E is acceptance and approval of work authorization number 1 in the amount of $16,217.19. This is for LNG Engineering Consulting Engineers, for geotechnical and construction materials testings, for the Hohen subdivision sanitary sewer improvements. Judge Commissioners, if we can approve this subject to funding, basically this contract would be funded using 2015 funds. However, we're requesting approval now so that we can get through all the administrative issues as far as having the pre-construction meetings and all that. So we're just requesting approval of this. This will be paid from 2015 budgeted funds for the precincts, from the Precincts Road and Bridge Fund.
Move for approval, subject to funding.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On consent agenda, Martha Salazar for purchasing. On consent agenda 15G, this is, as far as the date of execution, it is obviously a typo that will be corrected prior to execution of the final agreement. There is an additional comment on the first whereas. It says paragraph of the supplemental agreement states that Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 will take over the responsibility of the drain ditch and requires the ditch to be upgraded. The question being asked by auditor is, will that be sold as an asset to the drainage district in the future? As I put on my response, I'm deferring to Precinct 2 to answer that question, and I don't know if it's going to be Mr. Siliero.
I think legal counsel indicated that they were in the process of generating some documentation. I don't know, is that what you're going to say, Raul?
No, I'm saying that the drainage project was funded from GLO funds through the Urban County program. I don't believe that we can sell it from the county because the money would have to go back to GLO. But that's something that needs to be explored, whether we have ownership. But for sure, the agreement is that the drainage district would continue to maintain the ditch. But as far as selling it to the drainage district, I think it's something that we need to work with legal on that.
So at this point, there's no plans to sell it?
At this point, there's no plans to do that, yes.
So then I would recommend approval. As I said, the final agreement would have the correct year.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
On consent agenda item 15S, this is, it says, the concern is that the current vendor's insurance needs to be current and updated. We will not execute the agreement. I recommend that you take action to approve subject to receipt of the current certificates of insurance. We will not execute it.
That's the motion. Second. Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Commissioner Palacio, I concur with everything that was said this morning, and as you said, and I expect that you will be an invaluable resource to all of us. So always keep your same cell number, because I'm sure we're going to be calling you.
And his New Year's resolution be quit smoking, right?
He said that, I didn't. Blessings, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, at this time, we'll take up item 6B, recognition of the 2014 Santa's Helpers Toy Project, Toy Drive. We want to offer our sincere appreciation to all of those individuals that got involved and helped in contribution and making sure that all those kids that are part of the Head Start program received a gift. Go ahead.
Including recognizing all of the commissioners and the judge as well, because you all participated. This year, Hidalgo County came together and made Christmas a little bit brighter for the children enrolled in our Head Start program. Is Santa here, by the way? Good. Yay. Santa's here. Last year, Hidalgo County employees donated about 1,000 toys at 8 centers. This year, we collected nearly 3,000 toys, and Santa was at every one. Come on up here, Santa. Come on up, Santa. We had a Santa go to every single classroom as well. We collected nearly 3,000 toys for children in 38 of the 43 centers. Remember, last year we had 8, and not all were filled. And our Head Start staff found sponsors for the remaining 5 centers, so every child aged 3 to 5 in our Head Start program from some of the most needy families got a toy this year. What a blast. We'd like to recognize our chief elves, and please come up, everybody. Chief elves, the departments they represented, the elected officials and department heads that supported the project, HEB Plus and Mission, the Head Start Transportation, come on up, guys, come on. The Head Start Transportation Department and Administration, and a special thank you to the Toy Drive Committee members. So come up and let's take a group photo. That way, oh, you were coming up. Over here for the photo. Yay! This really brought the county together in a community effort. And by the way, this was donated on their own time, wrapped. So this is wonderful. It took all of this and more to make it happen. Thank you for all your support.
On behalf of Head Start, we really appreciate this. We were trying to total out in dollars and cents. It's from $50,000 to $60,000 that were put together to make this a reality. I have 4 of our center managers from the biggest centers from each one of the precincts to come in and just express a couple of words. So can we have Ms. Nájera come up first? We have Ms. Nájera from Donna 1, Ms. Trigo from Sullivan, Ms. Almaguer from Pine Terrace and McAllen 5, and Ms. Villarrutia from Edinburgh 5. Ms. Nájera? This is an expression of what the kids had to say.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen, I would like to say first, thank you. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts for being so generous and thoughtful for providing our children at the Donna 1 Head Start and all the Head Starts with a present, a toy that meant so much to them. Yesterday we were on our field trip, and to end our day, a Monday of all days, Santa was there and Commissioner A.C. Cuellar. Thank you. The children were so excited, like I said, to end our day with presents. It was like, oh, Mas, wow, you know, it was so exciting for them and to see their faces the way that they were, the smiles, the memorable moments as we see them smile. And thank you, Commissioner Cuellar. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts, from the parents, from the staff, and our children. And may God bless each one of you. And Commissioner Palacios, happy trails, and may God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. On behalf of Head Start, I want to go ahead and thank the county and their employees for the support in their Christmas drive. We had such a wonderful time when the Hilda was there, taking pictures. Seeing the children's smiles is priceless. It's a memory that y'all have implanted in our children, because Lord knows if the children, this is the only gift they will ever get. But I want to thank you on behalf of Head Start and my employees, and God bless you, and hope to see you again next year.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ana Villarrutia, coming from Edinburgh 5 Head Start. I mean to say thank you to you all. Thank you for all those toys. My children, they were all happy on behalf of all my families and my children. Thank you. And let's make it this an event for every year from, this is a beginning and every year be there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I'm Mrs. Mirta Trigo from Sullivan City, and I'm from the west side of the county, so I'm the farthest, and most of you, do you know where Sullivan City is?
Oh, yeah. Very well.
Okay, we like to thank you, because it's kind of hard to get all the way. Some of our directors go, oh, vives bien lejos. No, yo no vivo aquí, yo trabajo aquí. So I'd like to thank all of the commissioners, all these people that were working very hard in getting, even though we're getting Santa again today at 11 o'clock, but I'd like to thank our Commissioner Flores, and we made a big collage, but I didn't know I was coming to this meeting. They just called me, get over here fast. So we're going to take it to your office and then get up in your office, if you don't mind. I don't want you to throw it away. Okay? And the rest of you, and of course, Mr. Palacios, I love you very much as I love your brother, Oscar. He works very, very close with us, and we like to thank you, and may the Lord be with you all the time. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Again, thank you one more time, Ms. Sullivan, for coordinating such a magnificent task and successfully completing it. We really appreciate it. Commissioner Palacios, for all the support you have given Head Start throughout the years I've been here and before. Good luck to you, and we're around. We'll welcome a volunteer anytime. Thank you.
As we're taking pictures, I'd just like to say another few words. I forgot to mention the Texas Literacy Council donated a book for each and every child as well, and that was coordinated by Rick Contreras in our district clerk's office. And also, Commissioner Cuellar adopted every single center in Precinct 1. Commissioner Joe Flores adopted over 400 kids in his precinct, but everybody participated. Thank you.
Our next item is item 6C, a report from the Rio South Texas Economic Council.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I actually need to take two items out of order, item 6E and 6F ahead of C. So item 6E is discussion and approval of the amendment to the Economic Development Incentive Program guidelines and criteria under the provisions of Section 381.004. We had to amend our policy, and this allows us to do grandfathered and ongoing projects, which would then allow us to engage and continue to engage with Rio South Texas in this agreement.
It's 22A and B. No, it's some bills.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, like I was saying, this is this 381 agreement. We're looking to amend it, and this allows us to continue to engage with Rio South Texas, and I would recommend approval.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And if I may, continue with 6F, which is discussion and approval of Chapter 381 Economic Development Agreement between Hidalgo County and the University of Texas System. This is regarding that MOU that we signed earlier in the year to entice and get the medical school down here the first 2 years to Hidalgo County's area. This would allow us to go ahead and move forward on sending the $1 million per year on or about October 15th of each year for the next 10 years.
Move for approval.
But is that the one that is subject to the approval of 6E?
Yes.
Okay.
Those in favor, say aye. 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 Motion carries. Thank you.
All right. Okay, then item 6C, we have a report from the Rio South Texas Economic Council, and we have Alma Colelli, the director, along with Keith Patridge from McAllen EDC, Ramiro Garza from Edinburgh, city manager.
Bobby, 6C was subject to 6C, no?
We already approved 6E, yes.
Oh, you did 6E already?
Yeah, we already did E and F. So we needed E before C. You have 90 seconds.
Thank you. Okay. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. It's an honor to be here again to present our annual update on Real South Texas Economic Council. And today we do have Keith Patridge, our Board Secretary for ResTech, along with Ramiro Garza, one of our board members. And ResTech, as you know, is an organization of economic development interest in the Rio Grande Valley, the 4 counties, with our main goal of marketing the region for investment and the creation of jobs. And what we wanted to do today is provide you an update as to our activities. And we did provide a statement and our new brochure that details some of the information. First and foremost, in order to improve business conditions in the Rio Grande Valley over the last year, we have focused our efforts on a media and communications initiative. The main goal was to mitigate any image harm done to the Rio Grande Valley in the wake of the Central American refugee crisis. The image of the Rio Grande Valley was enhanced through the use of strategic communications. The message developed and delivered by our members focused on the situation being a humanitarian crisis. Through our leadership, we were able to turn the attention of the media to the Rio Grande Valley community's efforts to assist the children refugees. ResTech board members appeared in various local, state, national, and even international media to offer the Rio Grande Valley's perspective. We also launched a new web portal offering comprehensive information on the region, and it's www.rgvnewswire.com. We daily deliver positive information on the site that is gaining traffic and readership. Social media accounts were also set up to help us promote all of the good news. In order to improve education and training for the purposes of strengthening our community development efforts, we provided media training earlier this summer with our senior communications consultant. Over 60 people, many of y'all in this room, attended and were trained in 4 sessions held throughout the valley. And together, we also provided mock interviews to allow us to kind of critique ourselves. But through all this, a key message session was developed and held, and we included both the positive, proactive messages and also the reactive messages that we can use when we're asked those tough questions. In order to continue marketing the region for generating opportunities that, of course, result in economic opportunity and diversification, we also provided exhibit space at one of the national conferences here for the Council of Shopping Centers. Retail, of course, continues to be very important to all of us in the Valley, and we want to make sure that we're promoting the region so that we compete with other markets. We also have videos that have been produced in order to introduce the Valley to prospective companies and investors. All of y'all are welcome to use those videos as well in your businesses and in introducing the Valley. We also have one on the border energy boom and rapid response manufacturing. And with that, would like to pass it over to Keith Patridge if he has any additional comments.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you for your past support for ResTech, and we hope that you will continue to support us. The Rio Grande Valley has a lot of pretty exciting things that we have coming in the future, both with the opening of the oil sector in Mexico, SpaceX coming in, the UT-RGV, plus a number of a renewed interest among companies and manufacturing operations that are looking at our area. And we think 2015 should be a very good growth year. However, as we know, over the last few years, we've suffered under a lot of negatives in the news. Most dramatic has been the reputation that we have gathered because of the violence in Mexico. And so really the last year, ResTech has focused a lot on improving our image, letting people really know the facts about South Texas and about our area, that we in fact are one of the safest areas in the United States, and the opportunities, many opportunities that we have had, have now, and will have into the future. And so it's really important that we work together as a region to get our message out, and also to make sure that we are working together to get these companies, because we're seeing the world kind of regionalize, where regional efforts on economic development are becoming the trend. There's not enough money for any one of our cities to go out and do it alone. So working together, we bring companies and we bring investment into the area, and then we compete among communities to decide where in our region that they go. But in order to get them here, we have to really represent ourselves as a region. And so I would ask that you look favorably upon the request for membership for next year in ResTech, and I think that it will help us continue to move the region forward. So with that, if we have any questions, we'll be happy to entertain that.
You need action for that, move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. And if I may, Commissioner Palacios, it has been a pleasure working with you, and thank you for all that you've done, and best to you and your family in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Judge, Commissioners, we're going to need approval on item C 2 and 3.
Just, okay.
6C 2 and 3.
Move for approval.
2 and 3.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item, Michael Leo will handle, 6D.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Michael Leo, County Judge's Office. 6D is discussion and approval to renew guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatements in Hidalgo County. We have existing tax abatement guidelines that expired earlier this year.
Mike, hold on just a minute. Commissioner Flores is going to have to leave.
Okay.
And we're going to need to appoint our Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3. Judge, would you step forward? I'm going to go ahead and move to item number 7C. The appointment of Judge Marcos Ochoa to fill the vacancy of JP Precinct 3, Place 2, for the term beginning January the 1st, 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Now we need to approve the bond, the official's bond. Is that everything in order, Bobby?
Yes, sir. Everything is in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Steve, do we administer the oath at this time? The vacancy is not there yet until January the 1st.
You can take his oath anytime between now and January 1st.
You can take it now, or we can wait till, you can wait until January the 1st.
Yeah, I'll wait.
You want to do it now, sir?
No, wait.
You're going to wait? That'll be fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners, for allowing me the opportunity to serve the Hidalgo County. I will do the very best, and we're working, to, and we will continue.
Well, I want to
do
commend you
very
for the
best.
work that you've done up to now. We've heard nothing but good things. You've been doing the work that a Justice of the Peace is by statute required to do, and thank you for doing it.
Thank you. And thanks, Commissioner Palacios, for, working for 15 years of, service to Hidalgo County. That's quite an accomplishment. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Sure will.
Good luck.
I forgot to mention my wife. She's here with me. Mary Jo. 32 years of being my wife.
You're in trouble. Hello.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good
luck. Congratulations.
Judge, Commissioners. Judge, just for the record, we do have the bond.
Very good. Let's move on to item 22A. And take care of that while Commissioner Flores is still here.
I think that the term expires, so 12/31/2016, Lovely?
Yes, sir. It was changed to reflect that.
Can you help us here, Valde? 22A.
It's just an interlocal, Valde?
Yes, it is in a local with the City of Sullivan and the county. We do recommend approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I got it, thank you. Item 22B, requesting approval to process the following invoices as claims with authority for county treasurer to issue payment after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
There's another one, Judge.
Give me a second, real quick. It's this one.
Where's the Naya?
I'm sorry, Sergio? Oh, it's right here. Judge, if we can take item out of order, it'll be item E, number 2,
What number?
23E.
23E.
All right, sir.
Morning, Judge Commissioner Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget and Management. Item 23E is discussion, consideration, and approval of resolution authorizing county staff in cooperation with the county's financial advisor, Estrada Hinojosa and Company, to submit one or more applications to the State Infrastructure Bank in an effort to obtain funding for certain road improvements.
Move for approval.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E2 is discussion, consideration, and approval to submit the following applications for financial assistance to TxDOT State Infrastructure Bank with authority for the county judge to sign the same. There is a correction on item E2C. The amount of assistance that we're requesting is $1,456,435. The item excluded the 15% contingency for the project. And the projects are for Liberty Boulevard, 10th Street, FM 2220, and Mile 6 West. That's listed on the agenda.
The only question I've got here, if we do get accepted by TxDOT, how are we going to pay this? From the road and bridge or general fund or what?
Basically, for the application, we've submitted that we would pay this either from general fund appropriations or from road and bridge appropriations. Right now, what we're requesting is going to be a 20-year term on the loan. And we're looking at the possibility of having some type of deferment on the payment. One of the advantages to requesting SIP loans as opposed to just going straight out CO issuance is that we get reduction on the interest rate because we are economically disadvantaged. And there's also a possibility to defer the payments up to 5 years. So right now, we're working with our financial advisor to determine what the period of deferment should be based on our debt service schedule. And that's what we've included in the application, a 5-year deferment.
Do you know how much money this money here is going to leverage?
Excuse me?
The state, you know how much money this money here will leverage from the state?
I don't have the amounts with me, but each of the projects, I think, is in excess of $10 million.
So it'll be pretty close to 100 million probably.
Yes. I know for the Mile 6 West, I think it was close to $18 million project. And I believe all the other projects are either $12 to $16 million each. And then basically this amount that we're requesting is just our local match.
Yeah, and if I may state for the record, a lot of these projects are ongoing projects that the county's invested in several years. A little bit of gap funding, it's going to allow us to realize a great return on our investment dollars. And I think the percentage was, it varies for each project. It's anywhere between 6, 10, 12%. But it's obviously going to allow us to get into construction. So it's going to be a great thing for each precinct.
Yes, and these 4 applications that we have are the first 4 that we're looking at. There's other road projects that we're working on with TxDOT that we're also leveraging funds that we might need to go out for SIB loan applications. However, since this process usually takes 4 to 6 months between when you submit the application and get final approval, we decided to move on these 4 projects that we've identified so far. We'll probably end up having some workshops next month with our financial advisor and the court to be able to plan out the rest of the projects. Again, this is only for authority to submit the applications. As I mentioned, the process does take around 4 to 6 months. After that, we would bring back the actual agreement. So basically, this does not commit the county. The county is not committed for these loans until after we sign the loan agreements.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
See you later.
Dale, we'll see you, Joe.
See you, Commissioner.
All right, Mike? No, you start.
6D, discussion and approval to renew guidelines and criteria for granting tax abatements in Hidalgo County. Our existing guidelines expired earlier this year. For the last year, we've kind of gone back and forth with Atlas and Hall, with legal on a specific project, the wind farm project. And because it's such a unique project and a project of extraordinary impact, it became necessary to make some changes to our guidelines. The changes have to do with definitions and clarifications as far as owners, lessor, lessee, and so forth. Much of the content, the big stuff was not changed, and just so you know, the matrix itself was not changed, so this company is not qualifying for something that wasn't already in our guidelines. They asked for what was in our guidelines, that's what the court agreed to, and that's what what we're asking for today is, again, is just the approval to renew the guidelines and the criteria.
Mike, is this 6D? Is it
Yes.
David?
6D, yes, sir.
Okay, because this agenda item includes orders that are attached, and I think the agenda caption doesn't make a note of the orders, but I think this action is going to also approve the orders that are attached for both 6D, 1 and 2.
That is correct. The orders were provided for by legal, but the caption does not state that. I don't know if that's something that needs to be addressed by legal. Are we okay with that?
I do have some concerns. Is there any way we can approve the guidelines and bring the orders back for a future meeting?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Okay, so right now, then we're just asking for approval to renew the guidelines and criteria.
The orders will be approved
The
later.
orders will come later.
Just to renew the
guidelines, yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Are there any changes? I want to make sure I understand what you're doing.
There were some changes, and like I said, a lot of it had to do with the definition of the owner, lessor, lessee, because this project deals with 50 landowners in the North Precinct 3 area. When we said owners, the question said, are we talking about the property owners, or are we talking about the company, the wind farm owners? So there was a lot of clarification on that. There was one thing about tax certificates that was changed. Normally, we ask for tax certificates to be current and to be provided by everybody. In this case, because we're talking about 50 property owners, there was a clause added, the Commissioners Court could opt out of that requirement. The only tax certificates that we required for this project were specific to EDP, as far as the property that they owned. But even then, we did our due diligence, we went above and beyond, and we looked at the tax certificates of all the property owners anyways, and they were all current.
All right. Ms. McClarty, were you wanting to say something?
Well, are you doing both 1 and 2?
Right now, we're doing 1.
Just 1. I have a question on 2.
No action on 2.
Not yet, we're going to 2 right now. Right now, we're on 1, on the guidelines.
We have a motion and a second, I believe, to approve. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay. Item number 2 reads, discussion and approval of tax abatement agreement between Hidalgo County and Hidalgo County Wind Farms, LLC. This is actually the actual project itself. This is the actual agreement. Again, we've been going back and forth with legal for over a year now. They've been working back and forth. It's been really diligent and thorough. The agreement is provided for you here as backup. There is one clarification that we need to make for the record. On the existing agreement right now, there is a paragraph that talks about an estimated value of the abatement. And again, this is just an estimate, based on a good faith estimate. The agreement says the dollar amount is going to be $4,349,952. In working with the company and working with legal, consulting with legal and with our estimates, we estimated that value to be closer to $4,682,240. So we just wanted to add that for the record, but the agreement, the way it stands, is what we're asking for approval today, and it is in compliance and in conjunction with the existing tax abatement guidelines that you just approved today.
Now I have a question. My question is the same question I asked the school board the other day when they came there to get the tax abatement. Does any elected official on the board here or any elected official have ownership or anything in the wind farms? Also, would you be receiving anything from this little adventure, is what we're asking.
If I can say for the record, absolutely not. I'm not even aware of the firm.
Judge?
If I did, I would have, we are required, if we have any kind of a conflict, to go ahead and talk about it in order to get away, but no, I don't have any interest.
Okay.
I don't have anything. I don't know who they are to start with.
Okay, well, that, like I say, there's just rumors, so I said I would ask to make sure. And then at the meeting at the school board, they talked about the tax abatement for this company, and they talked about most of the time when you've had a company come, they usually have like 100 employees or something. They told the school board they only had 2 jobs that were connected with this, so I didn't quite understand that. Because I remember when Frito-Lay came to Commissioner's Court and asked for this abatement, y'all okayed it really quick, and what happened to that company? It went under. So that's what the taxpayers are looking at, in the future. And I do know the windmills are noisy. I know that the animals and things, so I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but I'm certainly hope the animals don't mind these. But I'd like you to check on the employees with this particular abatement. Thank you.
And also for the record, we have Mr. Chris Cheney here from EDP Renewables who can answer any questions about the project itself.
Yeah.
Jobs and location and so forth.
You looked at it, you studied it, you're recommending it.
We've looked at it for about a year and a half, Judge, and yes, we did ask questions. We actually spoke with the in McAllen Chamber of Commerce as far as any negative effect or impact it could have on nature, on the environment and so forth. Texas Parks and Wildlife, if I'm not mistaken, there's been some communications with them as well.
Yes, Judge and Commissioners, we've met with Texas Parks and Wildlife and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We've conducted over 2 years of environmental studies. We're currently conducting a 3rd year of wildlife studies as well. We've gotten only positive responses from those agencies.
How many units are you going to be installing?
The plan at this point is to target 50 units in Hidalgo County. If there's potential for expansion, we'd love that, but that's our current strategy.
What area of the county are they going to be located in?
So it'll be just west of McCook, both north and south of 490. Our plan is to do a 150 megawatt wind farm with 75 turbines, with roughly 50 going in Hidalgo County, and then roughly 25 going into Starr County.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And that abatement has already been approved with Starr County as well, and I think the Edinburgh School District just approved theirs recently as well. So at this time, we're asking for your approval.
You recommend the approval?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. What about E, Bobby? All right. I'm going to take another item out of order. Item number 13A. Paul, our tax office.
Okay. Judge, I have the tax roll totals for the county, so I'm going to read those. Total partials, 331,026. Total market value of 37,528,919.1 for a total taxable of 28,613,159.90. Total levy to be collected by my office, $167,256,714.84, and I do need approval. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next item is the continuing education for the tax assessor, which is me. Senate Bill 546 requires a county tax assessor to successfully complete at least 20 hours, so I have completed those 20 hours, so I just wanted to make that presentation. You need approval on that? No. Thank you. And the third one, I believe, is $90 reimbursements to one of my staff that he paid it personally when I should have paid it. He's a director with the Texas Association of Assessing Officers, and that would be $90. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Another item out of order is item number 10. I think Mr. Guerra was going to address us on this one.
Yeah, let me get them, Judge. I know there were some questions here.
Alde, we're on item number 10, having to do with the DA's office.
Yes, sir. Item 10, and I'll ask Sergio for some assistance here, but if I'm not mistaken, item 10, these are the discretionary funds?
Yes.
Okay, so it's my, and Sergio, during the budgeting process, these were not part of our budgeting process?
That's correct. These special revenue funds were not a part of the budget.
Okay. So the appropriation for the operations is in order, correct?
Yes, the appropriation is fine, yes.
Okay, but there have been some changes with respect to the personnel side.
Yes, regarding the personnel, there have been some increases that have been awarded via the salary schedule.
Was this one of those items that were going to be looked at and related to personnel that you said we would?
Well, yeah, you know what, and yes, and in talking to Sergio, I know that there's still some questions, and again, for what occurred with me, I was not here all last week, and so.
Judge,
Sergio,
Commissioners, basically on these personnel items, we would be requesting that we postpone action on these items until the December 6th meeting. However, I know on these district attorney items, we might have to bring that.
January.
We might have to bring the
January
district
6th.
attorney, yes, January, sorry, I apologize. We might have to bring those back before that, since there was no budget appropriated for them, so we might have to revisit these items.
So we may have to, with respect to these funds and any other budget that reflects.
I think the consensus was if there's going to be any personnel changes, whether they be deletions, creations, pay raises, et cetera, that it be done by the new court. And that's why that suggestion was made.
Correct.
So you want to wait till January 5th, or?
Well,
That was my understanding, that that's what you were going to recommend.
Right. What would be the impact to this particular, but not the appropriation side, but what would be the impact to this particular budget, Sergio?
Basically, we need to approve the salary schedule for these personnel. Since it wasn't approved during the budget process, we need to approve it prior to January 1st so
Okay.
that the personnel can continue, since the meeting is not till the 6th of January.
Okay, that would be the case if we're not meeting till the 6th, unless
Okay,
the
but,
court would meet on the 1st of January.
But my question for that action is stuff that adjustments that had been made prior. So you're talking about personnel adjustments that have been made prior or after we adopted the budget, is that correct?
No, not necessarily for that. For the DA's items, these special purpose funds, they have personnel in them, and they were not approved during the budget process.
Right,
They
but
were not,
my question, that impact will happen for 2015, is that correct?
yes.
If approved. They haven't been approved yet?
No, they have not been
Okay, so-
approved.
So the impact will be for 2015?
So the salaries and personnel for 2015 have not been approved by the court.
All right,
which
here's
is what
my
I would
question.
recommend that
What
we-
kind of guarantee, since we're using forfeiture funds, are we going to be, if in fact we give pay raises, if we give pay raises, what is the impact on the county if in fact there aren't any forfeiture funds come 2016?
They would be then absorbed, Commissioner, or there would be a decision by the court to be made to be absorbed in from our general fund.
Yeah, the increases do have a potential to affect general fund come 2016 if there's no additional forfeiture funds. Or the impact would be that we would have to reduce those employee salaries back to the 2015.
Well, and I'm not opposed to giving anybody raises or anything like that, but I also know that countywide, we're not giving any COLAs, no adjustments, no
That's
pay
correct.
raises, no anything. The other thing is that this is happening in another year where we have another sitting elected official, and it's going to have an impact on county for the future. So I'm not supportive of taking action at this point, just because of the natural impact that will happen down the road. Also, for the mere fact that countywide, we're not doing any adjustments whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought we'd bring it back, we
On the
talked about
1st,
it, and,
Commissioners, Judge, we can come back on the 1st, which would be on a Wednesday, I believe?
Friday.
Yes.
All right.
January 1st on a Wednesday.
But,
Yes,
but if the approval is done on January the 5th,
No, the first, he's talking about the
We're talking
first,
about
January
No,
1st.
Let me finish, Commissioner. If the approval is done on January the 5th, salaries for January the 1st are not going to be paid until after that date. So the effect on the salaries, I don't think it'll be any.
Ahorita. That- no problem.
Okay, so Mr. Ofrase, I want to understand this correctly. So then you would have no issue meeting on January 6th, right, Sergio, not 5th?
Yes,
6th. You would have no issue on January 6th, meeting, taking whatever appropriate action that needs to be taken with respect to this particular budget, or for that matter, those other budgets, because the impact to those salaries for that 1 week, there would be no impact because of the next pay cycle.
January the 1st salaries are going to be paid like on January the 12th or
Okay.
after the 6th. So
Then if that is the case, Mr. Ofrasio, then yes, we would.
So we're going to delay it?
Yes, we
until
would delay the
January?
action. We would meet with the court individually to further discuss the questions
Okay.
that the court has. So
Well,
we'll
that
meet-
was my understanding, that
Okay.
that's what we were going to be doing.
It's fine.
All right.
Then
Then we will not take any action, and
Fine.
we're going to take a 10-minute break,
Okay.
and we're going to lose a quorum.
Sit down.
¿Qué pasó, Eric?
What's going on, Eddie? ¿Cómo estamos?
And I'm going to go back to item number 5, open forum. And the first presenter is Fern McClarity.
It's okay, I already asked it while ago.
Thank you. Next presenter is Marcela Alejandro.
Muy buenos días. Estamos aquí para presentarles una invitación que les traemos. Ya en días pasados les habíamos hecho una visita para hablarles un poquito de esto. Bueno, antes que nada, no creo que no me presenté. Mi nombre es Marcela Alejandre, soy miembro y líder de Lupe. También, bueno, como les digo, la presencia que tenemos en este día es para hacerles la invitación ya formal a ustedes. Es para un evento que tendremos el día 15 de enero a las 10:30 de la mañana. Para nosotros es un gran evento, es como le hemos llamado y le hemos puesto por nombre Urgencia Feroz de Alumbrado Público. Nosotros ya hemos estado en pláticas con el comisionado Joseph Palacios, que también es el comisionado de mi precinto en el cual yo vivo, y las pláticas que hemos tenido con él es para presentar un plan para el cobro del alumbrado público. Este plan esperamos que sea presentado en este evento que tendremos el 15 de enero. También Lupe y Array somos los que hemos estado trabajando junto con el comisionado para que este plan pueda ser presentado lo más pronto que se pueda. En este evento tendremos como más o menos 200 personas, que esperamos que sean un poquito más todavía. Esperamos contar también con la presencia de todos ustedes, señor juez, señores comisionados. El comisionado Eric Cantú junto con el comisionado Joseph Palacios son los que estarán presentes anunciándonos este plan. No solamente queremos contar con la presencia de ustedes, sino también con su apoyo al plan, también a esto. Tenemos ya muchos años trabajando y luchando para que las colonias tengan el alumbrado. Ya no es un lujo, ya no es algo que solo queremos por querer, en realidad es una necesidad. Necesitamos con urgencia que las colonias tengan luz para evitar tantas cosas malas que están pasando en ellas y así hacer de ellas colonias seguras, mejores colonias también con el alumbrado. necesitamos que nosotros le estamos dando una importancia tan grande que por eso le hemos puesto este nombre y queremos que ustedes le den la misma importancia que nosotros le estamos dando a todo esto. Lo que sí les pido es que la invitación que les vamos a pasar ahorita, la tengan a la vista, la guarden, la pongan en la hielera donde ustedes la vean caer, que pasan y no se les olvide, porque en realidad es un evento grande que estamos esperando de hace tiempo.
El día 15 de enero, ¿verdad?
Sí, el día 15 de enero a las 10:30. Y sí queremos que sea esa importancia, la importancia que nosotros le estamos dando, queremos que ustedes también se la den y como les digo, no escondan la invitación, no la guarden donde no la ven, queremos que pasen, la miren y se acuerden que vamos a tener ese evento. Es tan importante para nosotros, para los de RISE, para las colonias, que en realidad estamos todos juntos aquí apoyando este día a todas las colonias que necesitamos. Sí, bueno, muchas gracias por su atención, gracias por escucharnos, por su tiempo.
Gracias. Bien, gracias.
I'm just going to translate very quickly. I'm not going to do all what she said. My name is Marcela Alejandre. I come from Colonia, Trenton, Alamo Trentons, and Edinburgh. And I'm just here to invite all the commissioners in a formal invitation for our event that we're going to have on January the 15th at 10:30 in the morning. We had named this event the urgency of now, which just means that we need the illumination for our colonias, and we're presenting this invitation so you won't forget how important this event is. We already have the commitment of Commissioner Joseph Palacios and Eric Cantu to be there. We just extend an invitation to the judge. And also we'll be taking the invitation to Commissioner Joe Flores. Thank you so much and we hope that you give the same importance that it is important for us. So thank you so much for allowing us to be here.
Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Judge, while they're there, I signed up for open forum just to comment on the event as well. My question's I'm going to defer to legal counsel about posting for that event. So that more than 2 commissioners and the judge can be present at it. We've worked along with Commissioner, we don't want to leave Commissioner Cuellar out. He's done a lot for colonial lighting in his area, and we definitely want him to be part of the presentation. We're working diligently with Lupe, RISE, and all the different organizations out in Colonia supporting colonial lighting. We have identified different methodologies where we can incorporate lighting in colonias. They have been great representations to different colonias on applying some of the methodology to be able to provide lighting in that area. We're utilizing them as our catalyst to be able to reach out to all colonias and prioritize their needs and to provide lighting in those areas. So it's going to be a good meeting in January. We're inviting Commissioner Cuellar also to be a part of the presentation and look forward to adding more lighting in the places that we need it most. But thank you.
We'll be there.
Next presenter, is Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. I was sued for divorce in Hidalgo County. Community property owned by Joe and me is almost 80 acres of debt-free real estate. There can be no bargaining for property while it is being held by the court in litigation. Instead of awarding a fair division of our community property between Joe and me, the court determined our community property was excess land with no value, could not be divided, appointed our son to manage the community property, still owned jointly by his parents, formed a shell corporation, awarded our community property to the shell corporation, appointed a trustee, and, be sure to get this, also a beneficiary. Reports of my mental illness and death are greatly exaggerated. The court took all of my community property and the income it is producing for a compensation to me of nothing. I expect the court to furnish an accounting of the income from our community property to the owners. Following Joe's death, the court began selling our community property from the Shell Corporation with no disclosure to the owners, whose ownership is being disguised by the court. Joe and I still hold valid deeds to our debt-free community property. For the court to have sold our debt-free community property, the sale must be to the highest bidder at public auction with complete transparency. None of our land has been sold. People under the impression that they have bought any of our land did not buy any land from the owners. Our community property is being held by the 275th District Court with claims of having lost jurisdiction of the case, along with unwillingness to comply with the law and close the case. Laws exist in this country which balance the arbitrary power of government between those who govern and those who are governed. The court has no authority under the law to take everything Joe and I own, manage it, sell it, bequeath it, or give it away for free and call it our divorce settlement. I ask that laws of the state of Texas be observed. False imprisonment is the unlawful restraint of an individual's physical being. To be held in false imprisonment, a person does not have to be locked in jail or a room. I want to walk over to my rec hall and see what is going on in my business. I want to pick and eat an orange off a tree that I own. I want to walk around on community property that belongs to me. By court order, to do so would be to be arrested, jailed, and tried for the third time, because on my community property I am confined by court order to the house. That's false imprisonment. False imprisonment is a crime, and it is the theft of my life. I have been held in false imprisonment for 17 years in Hidalgo County, the state of Texas, United States of America, land of freedom and liberty, because Joe and I dredged a lake that someone is determined to have for free. Joe and I fenced the perimeter of our property years ago. Our fences have been torn down, and a street and a retail strip mall and encroachment of our land has occurred. If a fistful of taxpayers' money is involved, that is the problem of the court. Texas law is if you build on property that you do not own, you can take your buildings and leave. But if you leave the buildings, they belong to the landowner. I want compliance with the law to be enforced. I want the trespassers that are on my land to take whatever they own and leave. All buildings left on my land I claim for the owners of the estate of Joe Billman and me. I want my freedom, my community property, all trespassers off my land, and I want this unending divorce case closed. Thank you very much.
Our next item is item 7A. Mr. Guerra, is Balde around?
Judge, let me go find him.
Lo pones en high.
7A, Balde.
Judge, thank you. 7A, 1 and 2, there's no action. There's action to be taken further down the agenda. Judge, I know that we do have a lengthy, so there'll be there's no action under 7B. 7C, Judge, you've already acted on. The court has acted on the appointment. 7D, I'm asking the court to take action in compliance with our statute I'm asking approval of the following personnel action. It's a delete and create, it's a wash, it's for compliance of our civil service statute. And in working with Ms. Cortez from the Human Resource Department, she has graciously said that we can wash this out with respect to position. And so we're asking to delete an HR specialist one and create a civil service liaison. We want to set the salary for the liaison at $32,769. And then I have spoken to the civil service attorney. The civil service attorney has informed us that the position is, once created, is under the jurisdiction of the Civil Service Commission, okay? But for purposes, and in talking to Mr. Fracio some time back, for purposes of payroll accountability, for the individual to come into the office and do what they're supposed to be doing, they're asking, I'm asking for the budget, the account number to be transferred to the executive office for payroll purposes, for someone to be signing off that the individual, whoever that may be, he or she, is coming in to work with respect to the work to be done for civil service. And so I'm asking action on D1, 2, as well as the revised salary schedule 3.
Mr. Guerra, but there's not a civil service department, right? These are human resources department
right, no,
positions?
Right, no, that's why I'm saying we're deleting that one position and we want to create the civil service, the account of civil service under Department 125.
Right.
There is a civil service account.
Right, because the 190, I think, is HR, right?
Right, and so I want to transfer, or I want to change that to 125.
Right. So this is going to be created under HR?
No. Executive office, the account, for accountability purposes.
Because the department name and the numbering system that we have, the 190 is HR.
Okay, but the intent is to transfer it to executive office, which I believe is Department 125.
So you're going to delete and create an HR and then transfer to executive office?
No.
Because that's what the caption reads here. Delete civil service 190-001 and create civil service 190-001.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. Action 1 is to do that. Action 2 is then to transfer to 125. I'm sorry, yes. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So first you're going to delete and create within HR and then transfer that position over to
yes, you're correct.
executive office. Okay.
I got ahead of myself. You're correct. I want to make sure we follow the proper steps.
All right, Valdez.
So if I could...
What is it that you're seeking?
I'm asking the court to approve item D1, which is delete and create, then item 2, transferring it to Department 125, and then item 3, the salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, Judge Commissioners, I'm asking the court to process a payment of claim for Ms. Tracy Evans. She's an attorney. There's a couple of there's some invoices for the period of December 2009 through 2010, the amount of $15,780.02. This was a case out of the 332nd District Court. Obviously, we're asking this with the approval for the county treasurer issue payment after Mr. Ufraso's office does the auditing procedures for this.
That's 5 years old, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I did talk to the attorney, Ms. Evans. She informs me that there was a transition period that she had in her office. There was some remodeling and renovations done to her office. Unfortunately, when her office was being remodeled, the individuals that were hired to do the remodeling kind of just put everything together and boxed it and moved stuff out of the way.
So we do have a court order authorizing payment?
Yes.
All right.
But I guess the issue is that the statute of limitations already passed.
Right. Well, in this particular case, Mr. Frasso, again, it's my understanding that the invoice in question, or the invoices in question, were submitted November 5th of 2014, just right as the 4-year window that you have. Now, I think the issue then became, when was it signed off by the jurisdictional court? But I think there's no doubt, or there is no question that it was, the invoicing was submitted within that 4-year window. Again, the issue now then became, when was it signed off on? I think she complied, the attorney complied with submitting the invoicing.
It should be a 4-year statute, Judge, but I don't know the facts in this case.
Right, and that's true, Mr. Crane. It is a 4-year window. Again, she did
But
submit
when
it.
does it begin, is the question?
It would begin at the time the services were rendered.
Right.
At the time that services
Were
were,
rendered.
not when the judge signed the order?
I believe it would be the time well,
No, the invoicing, no. Judge, that become, I'm sorry, Mr. Crane, I don't mean to interrupt, but that becomes the issue. When does it occur? Is it when the invoice is submitted or when it's signed off? Well, I believe that she complied because she submitted the
Well, I'm
invoicing
sure you
within
do,
the
but
4 years.
I just want to make sure I'm in favor of paying her.
Right.
I just want to make sure for the record, we clarify that we're doing something that is legal, and that's why I want Steve to get on there and state that in his opinion, we're doing the legal.
well, and Judge, my problem is I don't know the facts in this case.
Well, how about this? If in fact it was within the window, okay, I will present the information to Mr. Crane. But again, Mr. Eufrasio at the end of the day is going to end up auditing to make sure that the invoicing was within the proper time frame. I think at this point, I think the court can take action, obviously subject to Mr. Crane's review. If there is anything that is off,
Subject to Steve giving us a written memo.
it's fine. And then I can come back to court and clarify if that needs to be the case.
All right,
Judge, because I think the
but
other
to have it
issue-
by the time the check is cut, to have it attached to the file.
Right.
And we'll do that, Mr. Crane.
That we can do.
Judge, the other issue is that there are some court rules that also drive that.
No, yes, and that's what I'm saying. There is, obviously, your office is going to audit to make sure that everything was in compliance. But I think for purposes of what we're doing today, I think there can be some action. And again, if the action does not meet with respect to the audit or Mr. Crane, then the action goes nowhere. And I will come back to clarify.
It's gotta be in the window there.
Yes, it must be within that window, yes, sir.
Move for approval with Mr. Crane.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item F is under Article 81.005A, which is the term of the court meetings. This is under our local government code, Texas Local Government Code. So I'm asking the court to consider and enter an order into the minutes designating the week of the month, day of the week, and time of the day with respect to our Commissioners Court regular meetings. And so I am again recommending to the court that the week of the month be the last week of the month. The day of the week be Tuesday, and the time of the day be 9:30 a.m. for calendar year 2015.
This is only for the regular meeting?
For the regular meeting, all
Not
other
for the
meetings are
special?
special. No, this is the only, we
it's
must set a regular.
Last week of the month?
Last week of the month, Tuesday being the day, 9:30 a.m. being the time of the morning that we would hold Commissioners Court regular meetings for 2015.
9:30, you said?
Yes, sir, 9:30. All other meetings are considered special.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G is the interlocal between the Drainage District and the County of Hidalgo, and this is the LJ Drainage Project. And the project limits are from Cesar Chavez Road to Alamo Lateral Drain.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item H, again, I apologize, I have not had a chance to fully review this item. I'm going to ask a no action at this time under the interlocal agreement on the TERS. Item H. The last item I have, Judge Commissioners, is item I, approval of a lease agreement between the City of McAllen and the County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, this is something that Precinct 2 has been working on for quite some time. We have worked with Mr. Steve Crane. Mr. Steve Crane, through our office, has come up with a lease agreement proposal. So I'm asking the court for that lease agreement that we are proposing with the City of McAllen and the County of Hidalgo for the use of a building. And the building is what everyone has come to know as the old McAllen Police Station. Off of Hackberry and
Pecan.
And Pecan. I'm sorry, not Hackberry. Pecan, off of Pecan Street.
What are we going to use it for?
The facility we're intending to use for tax services.
Okay.
And
It's
some
to
other
replace
departments.
the original substation that we had in the city of McAllen. It's going to be a satellite for tax collection and
Judge
other
Commissioners,
services.
I had a phone call Friday afternoon. I was in a conference from the McAllen City Attorney Gary Hendrickson. I returned that phone call Monday. He has not yet called me back, so the City of McAllen has yet to approve it. But I think Mr. Gary is asking for approval of the agreement as we drew it.
Right.
And if they have changes, we may have to bring it back to this court.
Right, but I would
Thank
like to
you.
proceed with respect to to what we need to do.
All right.
Subject to legal review?
Subject to City McAllen legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
Subject to
Those in
McAllen.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And,
Mr. Guerra, before we go any further, on 7G, we had a couple of concerns. One was the Exhibit A and B were not attached, and also that apparently we're going to sell some property, no? To the-
Mr. Frasso, I tell you what,
We're going to sell property to the drainage district, so we would like to have some information regarding what is...
I will make sure, I will assure you that all the proper information will be submitted to your office. Obviously, after your review, if there's an issue, we could come back to court.
Yeah.
Constable.
Were you done H also?
No, we haven't started 8.
Okay.
8, Judge?
8A, yes.
No, H, you done 7H already over there?
There was no action on that.
No
one.
action.
There was no action, no, I'm asking for no action at this time. I will be bringing that back.
Precinct 1. Constable.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Sergeant Raul
Morning,
Lozano
sir.
for Constable Celestino Avila Jr. Item number 1, ratification of application for the Walmart Community Grant Award from the Walmart Private Foundation, facility number 6159.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval to accept the Community Grant Award from the Walmart Private Foundation in the total amount of $1,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval of certification of revenues for the Community Grant Award.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 4, approval of appropriation of the Community Grant Award in the amount of $1,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8B,
Can we take them together, Steve?
They're all different, Judge.
All right.
Item 8B, item number 1, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, LBSP, FY fiscal year 2015 grant with the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency, Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, authorization for the county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Fernando Gaitán, representing Constable Martin Cantu. 8B, 1, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, fiscal year 2015 grant with the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency, Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Morning,
Judge,
sir.
Commissioners, Chief Deputy Gonzalez, Precinct 3 Constable's Office. We're also asking for permission, authorization to apply for the LBSP grant 2015, Homeland Security Administration, Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
motion carries.
And also, two, to have the authorization of the judge as the authorized official to sign required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you.
Excuse me. Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Constable Gaitán, Precinct 4. On line item 8E, Constable Precinct 4, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, LBSP, FY15 grant with Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency, Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign requirement documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next item is item F, A1-47613, Constable Precinct 4. Discussion, consideration, and approval for Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4 continued participation in Texas 1033 surplus program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And the last item, 8G, A1-4741, Constable Precinct 4. Discussion and consideration approval to appoint Kevin Andrew Perez as Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable myself, Gaitan, Precinct 4, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners. Merry Christmas.
Judge, Commissioners, keeping in line with the request and the discussion we've had, item 9, under HR, we're going to no action all those items, and we will bring those back later. I believe that there's already been discussion taken on item 10, and so we go to item 11 for the County Clerk's Office, or approval of bonds. That was quick, Esther.
Thank you.
So 10 has been already taken up? Well, no action on 10, right?
Right, right.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Annette Muñiz, Chief Deputy for Arturo Guajardo Jr., Hidalgo County Clerk. I'd like to read off the following bonds that have been received at the County Clerk's Office, which require approval from Commissioners Court. We have received for Sheriff J.E. Eddie Guerra, Constable Precinct 4, A. J.R. Gaitan, County Judge Court at Law Number 1, Rodolfo Rudy Gonzalez, Judge County Court at Law Number 2, Jaime J. Palacios, Judge County Court at Law Number 5, Arnoldo Cantu Jr., Judge County Court at Law at Number 6, Albert Garcia, Judge County Court at Law Number 8, Omar Maldonado, County Clerk Arturo Guajardo Jr., and County Commissioner Precinct 4, Joseph Palacios, and Justice of the Peace, Precinct 4, Place 2, Homer Hassel.
Everything in order.
Everything is in order for these bonds. We will be bringing the rest of the bonds as soon as we get those.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I was beginning to feel left out.
Yes, Judge, and I won't mention your name.
Ms. Annette, we're looking at Friday afternoon to hold another meeting specific to the bonds.
Okay.
And so I know that I did get a couple of calls this morning. I said, please ask for Ms. Annette at the County Clerk's Office, and they'll take care of it over there, so.
And there's a lot of confusion with that, but, you know, as long as they're executed, the filing and the approval is just a formality. So, you know, if we're having another meeting, then we'll bring the rest of them there.
Thank you.
So, yes, thank you so much, Ms. Annette.
Thank you.
Item 12, Sheriff's Office.
On it, Sheriff.
Man, what kind of dog is that?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Gabriel Castañeda for Sheriff Eddie Guerra.
Morning, sir.
Under item 12A, presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to accept donation of 1 Belgian Malinois canine for the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, donated by the Department of Defense.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
12B, authorization approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program, fiscal year 15, grant with the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency, Texas Department of Public Safety.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And 2, authorization for a county judge as authorized official to sign required documents.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under 12C, we have approval for the 2015 budget for the Sheriff's Office, HB 65, Fund 1227, in the amount of $542,465.06.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, approval of 2015 Sheriff's Federal Sharing, U.S. Treasury Fund 1228, in the amount of $438,602.75.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And number 3, approval of the 2015 Sheriff's Federal Sharing U.S. Justice Fund, 1229, in the amount of $1,009,158.98.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 14, our HR Health Department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning.
I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and season's greetings. On item 14A, sir, is approval of agreement between the University of Texas Health Science Center at San Antonio and Hidalgo County. This particular agreement is in regards to the John Austin Peña clinic that we have within county property. This is an agreement where the United Health Systems out of San Antonio awarded a grant to the medical school in developing a pediatric program. This agreement would be that it would allow the university-based residency program, medical school program to be providing services for psychiatric, medical, and nutritional support for children dealing with issues with substance abuse. And this has been reviewed by legal counsel, Mr. Crane, and been reviewed by legal counsel from the state of Texas as well.
And executed by the doctor.
And executed already by Dr. Dean Fernandez, who is the dean of the medical school for University of Texas Rio Grande Valley.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item B, sir, is requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $285,474.67 for the period of January 1st, 2015 to August 31st, 2015 for the TB-PC Federal Tuberculosis Prevention and Control Grant number 2015001-400-00.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
And item B2 is requesting approval of the budget appropriation in the amount of $285,474.67 for the federal funds and in the amount of $57,095 for the local matching fund, which has already been reviewed by budget.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item C, sir, is requesting approval to submit a request for the additional grant funds for the bioterrorism discretionary program in the amount up to $9,287.56 with a local match of $928.76.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14D, sir, is for clarification purposes of action taken by Commissioners Court on August 25th, 2014, item number 46069, to include the approval of request for Hidalgo County Treasurer to issue an immediate check after review and auditing procedures are completed by County Auditor prior to services rendered pursuant to Architectural Barriers Administrative Rule 68.80G is attached hereunto, respectively, issuance to Mr. Antoni Kovacevic, Registered Accessibility Specialist designated by the State of Texas, designated by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation in order to permit the processing of the necessary services in connection to the clinic renovation for compliance purposes and thus avoid penalties imposed by the state to Hidalgo County Health and Human Service Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item E, 14E, is requesting approval of the non-disclosure agreement between the University of Texas Pan American and Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. This is for Operation Lone Star data and statistics and numbers.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 14F is requesting approval for county judge to sign the sales from Civic Plus. The form is to procurement of a custom mobile app for Hidalgo County Health and Human Services, and they're requesting a change. According to legal counsel, they recommend the judge to sign this.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Under 14G, Hidalgo County Health Funding District, item 1, there is no discussion.
Item 14H, Item 1, Item 1, there is no discussion. Under 14H2, discussion, consideration, and approval to draw down, and I need to give you the correct figure, again, because we just got these yesterday, to draw down $15,866,308.52 for the DY October dish rep payment from the local provider participation fund. The thing is, again, now that we have the Commissioners Court every 2 weeks, it becomes very difficult to get these figures in on a weekly basis as we needed. And we needed to get this ready for our drawdown in January. Since we're not having another Commissioners Court between now and January, we needed to act on it now. So the figure we just got yesterday from the state, the $15,866,308.52 is the figure. And that's what we need to look at getting ready for payment come January.
Move for approval.
But I think there's going to be another Commissioners Court meeting.
Yeah, there's one more meeting.
Before then, because
I don't know if that matters to your calculation.
No, because what happens, the calculations are, this is the actual figure we have. So the meeting, the action we take today or the action we take on the 30th it's the same. Because the actual figure we got from the state yesterday, and this is the actual figure. So I think action today would be just equally as good as the action on the 30th. So just get it done now.
Just because that number changes from one day to the other. So my suggestion would be to have this item approved the next Commissioners Court meeting. That way we have
This is the figure we got from the state as of now, sir. This is what the payment, the drawdown is going to be on January 2nd.
They'll be satisfied with this number?
Yes, sir.
Move for
And
approval.
Judge, if it changes, we can come back later and make
That's
the
right.
change.
I need a second.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Sir, thank you very much. Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
What about
Item 15, our fire marshal.
Calder, you want to take that?
So item 15 for our fire marshal, he's asking to reimburse one of his fire inspectors, Kyle Pulley. This is for the psychological exam. The dollar amount is $200. There is a requisition number, 00267944. Again, any action by the court would be with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 16, from the IT department, Mr. Ramirez. Renan, go ahead and...
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Item 16A is requesting approval for the following claimed invoices with the authority for the county treasurer to issue payment check after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor as follows. AT&T billing outstanding balance, 10/23/2014 of $102,148.87. Just wanted to clarify, this has been a long-standing dispute that we've had with AT&T in the county. We had some inflated bills a while back, and we've at this point exhausted all the disputes. We've gotten credit, so we've got it to the right amount already. So we're just requesting approval of this claim.
Move for approval.
Mr. Ramirez, so we owe this amount, you saying?
Yes, sir. We did not pay 3 months, a few months ago, because the amounts were inflated. So we had to dispute, we've gotten credits, and it's just been a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of bureaucracy with the telephone companies. So it takes a while, but at this point, we've exhausted everything.
Correct amount that is owed?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Mr., before you go on to the next one, will this resolve the issue with AT&T? I know that you and I have had discussions. I know that the auditor's office has been in discussions, but, I mean, I know this has been a very, very long process.
A very long process.
But will this...
This should, absolutely.
Okay, so you don't foresee any more invoices that we're going to have to process as claims?
No, no, sir. And actually, we're rolling out of AT&T already as much as we can. We've had this outstanding, and once we actually make this payment, we're fixing to get a $27,000 credit. But they're waiting on this. But this absolutely should resolve this issue.
Okay, okay. Judge, Commissioners, I don't know if Eddie mentioned it, I didn't hear it, but he does have one other item, and I know that you have to be leaving. It's item 2302.
I've got B. It's real quick. Mine is just a cell phone.
Okay.
It's a plan change for approval for 16B, Commissioner Precinct 1. Authorization approval to change the wireless cell service plan as listed on the item. I believe we're just
Move for
adjusting
approval.
to the new Verizon plan.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion
Thank
carries.
you, Judge Commissioners. Have a great day.
2302, and it deals with the 1115 waiver.
Judge Commissioners, 2302 is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation of those funds for the LPPF 1115 waiver program. The amount, based on what's already been certified and the amount that Eddie just gave as far as the 15 million, the amount that needs to be certified would be $13,697,265.11. If we can have that approved, subject to auditor review.
Judge,
That's 02?
Yes.
Commissioners, I have not certified those revenues because of the amount keeps changing. So I will not be able to certify whatever number they represented, because I don't know whether it's correct or not.
Sir, Commissioners, if we could have then that approval of the certification, approval of the appropriation, subject to the auditor certification, that way that...
That will be my motion.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
It was 2302, right?
02.
Number 17, Urban County.
Commissioners, item 17A is on behalf of the City of Westlake, requesting approval and award of the best and final negotiated contract with Lefevre Engineering in the amount of $75,980.58 for a water and sewer improvement project.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval of amendment number 3 to the existing material and geotechnical services, testing services contract with Robert Kistner Consultants. The amendment will provide for additional soil samples within the areas where sloughing conditions have been observed. The firm will conduct laboratory double hydrometers and dispersity tests. The amount of the increase will be $3,283.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item C is requesting authority to correct the name of the professional engineering service firm that was awarded an engineering contract for the City of Elsa, agenda item A146872. It was awarded on October 28th from International Consulting Engineers to Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, doing business as International Consulting Engineers.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item D is requesting approval of a budget and program amendment for the City of Alamo for years 2011 and 2012 to the work plan. The amendment will be adding funding in the amount of $41,795.76 for the new water distribution system.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item E is requesting a waiver to the CDBG policy regarding the forfeiture of funds for program year 2014-2015, and we request that the court allow the forfeited funds to remain in each city's work plan rather than reprogramming the funds to the precinct in which the city is located as outlined in the CDBG policy. The reason for this, Commissioners, is that we have ongoing projects in several communities, and if we go through the process of reprogramming the money, chances are that you're going to want them to keep the money so they can accomplish their project. So in order to avoid that, we request that we just allow for the waiver to the CDBG policy.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Deanna.
Thank you. Commissioner Palacios, it was a pleasure working for you. I thank you for all the guidance you provided me, and you'll always be in my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Head Start.
Yes. Item 18A is presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval for a 2-year interlocal agreement for lease of premises between McAllen Independent School District and Hidalgo County Head Start Program. Administration recommends approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Letter B, Commissioner Palacios, if you're ready. If not, we'll wait until
We'll wait.
January.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
wait one more.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all have a very Merry Christmas.
You'll be there to volunteer at the Head Start.
Okay, thank you.
Planning.
Why don't you take all of them in whole?
Yes, sir.
No,
Good
you
afternoon,
go, Frank.
Commissioners. Raul Sin, Planning Administrator. I'll just
No, it's
move
not
for the record preliminary approval, Lot 1A and Lot 1B replat of Lot 1 Alcantar Predosa subdivision. And for final, you want to hold that one first? Yes. Everything's in order for preliminary approval. It has been approved by my office, the advisory board as well.
Move for approval.
There's a motion.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And item 2 is final approval, Ortiz and Resendez subdivision, precinct 4, Coronado Allen subdivision, precinct 1, and Vista Ridge Acres, phase 5, precinct 1. All the aforementioned subdivisions have been comply with all the requirements of construction and what's required to get final approval. It has been approved by the advisory board and my office and the various county departments. It's in order for final approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 3 is final approval of financial guarantee, San Marcos subdivision, precinct 4. They're requesting approval for 15 septic tanks. 22,500 has been deposited with the county, and it has been approved by advisory board, my office as well, and other county departments, and everything's in order for final approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Likewise. Raúl.
Okay, vamos.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. We have item 21A, resolution honoring Ricardo Cuellar on his retirement. We want to recognize him for his 16 years of service with the county. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it today, but we would like to have the resolution read in his honor.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Resolution in honor of Ricardo Cuellar. Whereas Mr. Ricardo Cuellar is being honored for his dutiful service and dedication to the County of Hidalgo after serving with distinction and integrity for 16 years at Precinct 2 Commissioner Hector Tito Palacios' office. And whereas Mr. Cuellar was born and raised in Pharr, Texas, where he attended PSJ schools and graduated in 1962. For the past 44 years, he has been married to his beautiful wife, Diana, and together they have 2 children, Ivan and Karina, and 1 grandson named Dylan. And whereas, upon graduating high school, Mr. Cuellar joined the Air Force and served our country for 4 years. In 1972, he began his career with the State of Texas Department of Human Services and retired after 31 years. In 1999, he rejoined the workforce and started his tenure with Hidalgo County. And whereas, while working at Precinct 2, Mr. Cuellar worked as a field operations director where he supervised a group of more than 60 individuals in various departments, including road maintenance, parks, and sanitation. And whereas Mr. Cuellar leaves his second home and the great leadership of Commissioner Hector Tito Palacios, whose exceptional work ethic is part of the reason why he joined his position for so long. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and honors Mr. Ricardo Cuellar for his outstanding service, dedication, and commitment during his 16 years of service to the citizens of Hidalgo County, and on this day wishes him a long, healthy, and fruitful retirement. Dated the 16th day of December 2014.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raúl. Judge. Allow Raúl to make some comments regarding the fund balance.
Please do that.
Judge, Commissioners, Commissioner Tito Palacios wanted me to make a few comments regarding the financial stewardship of Precinct 2 during his tenure. I was in the budget office for many of those years, and then initially I started in Precinct 2, was there briefly, and in 2002, Commissioner Palacios was instrumental in the creation of the budget office for Hidalgo County. Prior to 2002, the county judge was the budget officer. There was no budget office, and Commissioner Palacios was spearheaded that effort. As you know, Judge, in 2003, when you came in, the fund balance in the general fund was about $750,000. Now it is over $30 million. So the county has really used its finances wisely and its savings for the future. In Precinct 2, when Commissioner Palacios became commissioner in 1999, there was a small fund balance in Road and Bridge of $178,000. And then the budget for 1999 was $2.3 million. So he started the year with a budget or total funds of $2.5 million was his beginning balance in 1999 when he started office. Commissioner wants to leave Commissioner-elect Eddie Cantu a little better situation. The fund balance that Commissioner is going to leave for 2015 at the end of 2014 is $1 million in Road and Bridge. COs that all the commissioners got, Precinct 2, his allocation is $3.750 million. We have over $3 million in drainage assets that the commissioner was instrumental in completing, that we're going to be able to sell to the drainage district, and the funds will go back to the precinct. So Commissioner-elect Eddie Cantu will have a beginning funds available to him in 2015 for a total of $11.5 from 2.5 to 11.5. So I think Commissioner will leave Precinct 2 in very good shape, and he wanted us to make sure that Commissioner-elect Eddie Palacios has all the resources that he needs to continue doing good work in Precinct 2.
You may want to mention that he doesn't have to spend it. I'm sure the judge will have
I'm sure he will be able to help other precincts as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Next item, 2022, Precinct 3.
Those items were already approved, Judge?
Sir?
Those items were already approved. 22A and B were already approved previously.
No, but I assured the commissioner that we'd consider them.
Those two were already approved, if I'm not mistaken. They were approved before he left.
Precinct 3,
Yes.
Commissioner Flores.
Precinct 3, item 22.
Yeah,
they're done
they were
already.
approved before he left, Judge.
Oh,
So they
okay.
they have already been approved.
All right.
Item 23A, 1 is designate the budget officer subject to conditions and directions provided by Commissioners Court to transfer amounts from certain budgeted items to other budgeted items as per Texas Local Government Code, Section 111.070C2, requesting approval. This is for, to be able to do emergency transfers.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23A2 is approval to designate the general fund, special revenue funds, and enterprise funds as the salary fund for the respective accounts, and this is per Texas Local Government Code 154.042.
Need action?
Yes, we would need
Move for
approval of
approval.
that.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23B is the approval of the emergency transfers for the period of January through December 2014, as listed on the attached report, which was on the agenda. We need requesting approval of that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Which item are we acting on?
23B.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On item 23C, I'm going to request action from items 1 through 12. This is discussion, consideration, and approval of all personnel-related actions approved after September 30th, which was the date we approved the 2015 budget, and they're listed below. These are to be effective 1/1/2015, and we did include the date and the agenda item of the previous approval. So I'm requesting approval of 23C 1 through 12.
You're requesting approval?
Yes.
I know that Mr. Guerra had indicated that anything related to personnel, we're going to be deferring.
Judge, actually, these are items that the court has already acted on throughout the year.
These are items approved after the budget process, so we need them approved so that they can continue on for the next fiscal year.
Yeah, that was my question earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
1 through 12.
1 through 12.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23D is discussion consideration. 23D1A is approval of the following personnel actions as approved by Commissioners Court on 9/23. This was actually approved the date of when we adopted the budget, and it wasn't included in the prior items. Would be to delete slots 18, 58, 94, 122, 128, 133, 150, 153, 154, 157, 173, 190, and 218, and to create slots 248 and 249. Again, this is an item that was already approved by Commissioners Court. However, it was approved the same date as Commissioners Court meeting date. So I'm requesting approval of that item.
Move for approval.
Second.
And for the record, that item is which one?
B1, B2.
Item 23D1A.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23D1B is approval of the following personnel action, is authorization of supplemental pay for the family resource position and the 4-H position regarding the Texas AgriLife extension for the amounts listed on the agenda.
Move for approval.
B1, 2, and 3?
Yes, if I can
1,
have
2, and 3.
approval of 23D2.
Do I have, is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For the record, that included the approval of the transfers and the revised salary schedule. Item 23E, that was already approved previously when Commissioner Flores was here. Item 23F, we'll be taking no action, Judge Commissioners. We'll bring that back. Item 23G is approval to designate $4,041,000 in fiscal year 2014 for the design, construction, and other expenditures related to the construction of a new county courthouse. This is just to designate the funds for that courthouse item.
I'd like to speak to this.
Okay, we're setting aside those 4 million for the
Correct.
court. Okay. Yes.
It looks like we're heading towards spending $4 million for making plans for a building that has not yet been approved by you people to be built. Now, I realize that this is a rather innocuous statement, approval to designate $4 million in the year 2014. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to spend the money. You could really say, Mr. Traver, you're being unduly concerned. We're not going to spend the money yet. We're just talking about something rather vague here. You want approval, which indicated there would be a vote. And what is so unsettling to many of us is this looks like we're trying to go down the road a very small step at a time until we finally get to the place where it's very difficult to stop and turn back.
Well, it's very difficult to build a building like this, all at once. We need to start working with the plans. We've had certain phases. We began with phase 1 was a master project. Phase 2 was a preliminary design. Phase 3, which is going to be, some of these monies will be used for, is still more engineering and architectural plans.
I understand that, Judge, but nevertheless, where is the point where we finally get some money, but so much money spent that it becomes very difficult, and the argument becomes, if we don't want to do this now, we're going to lose all that money, and we'll have to spend it again later. Okay. There's a point of no return.
Yes.
And when you reach that point of return, it's difficult to see until you've already passed it. Now, what makes us concerned, what if there is a I don't accuse anyone of anything, but what this looks like. What if there isn't a various plan to put this over on the voters a little at a time because we could never get it approved in advance? That's true. However, it still looks like spending $4 million to construct specific plans for a building that's not yet approved is getting way down that road where it may be difficult to ever turn back.
But you would
Approval
be-
of this,
You would not think
I
it
can
would
still be
prudent.
waived off, say this approval doesn't spend any money, it's no budget, but yet it asks for approval, which is indication that next year, you can say, well, it was already approved by the commissioners last year that we would spend $4 million for plans. I don't see that this accomplishes so much that it really is necessary to vote for it now. I don't think this puts you back on your plans. You can still consider things, but this is not an actual commitment or an action to enter a contract. And since this statement here is so innocent appearing and non-harming, you can say, oh, don't worry, we're just going a step at a time. It's scary, and a lot of us are concerned, and it looks like a vote of this really won't accomplish you anything and won't put you back. And we would like to ask you to not take a vote and approve this particular statement at this time and consider it further. Thank you very much.
Was there a motion made?
Move for approval.
Need a second?
Second, with just some comments, Judge. And it's similar to how we've done infrastructure with these projects we have with the state. I believe that we definitely have to plan for the courthouse needs. There's nothing more demanding that we're faced with alongside with infrastructure, but I am concerned about the amount. Obviously, we're not just going to cut someone loose. This architectural firm will have phases they'll be bringing back to the court, so I feel very comfortable, Judge, going down the process. So that's second.
All right. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23H is approval to designate $4,003,115.63 in fiscal year 2014 for expenditures related to the 1115 waiver program.
Move for approval.
Second.
That's,
These are funds that have not been expended
yeah.
when we did the drawdown.
Our budget was a little bit higher than that.
Yes, this has to deal with the anchor entity expenses, not the actual uncompensated care. These are funds that we drew down back in 2013. The county drew down roughly $2.8 million that was submitted to the state. We received back about $7 million. And these are the funds that are still unexpended, so we're just requesting that we
All right,
reserve them.
those in favor,
to
say
designate.
aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23I is approval to issue check payable to the Texas Department of Transportation Trust Fund in the amount of $7,100 for the additional direct costs related to engineer for Mile 6 West road projects, which are from Mile 9 to Mile 11, CSJ 0921-02168.
Move for approval.
Judge, on I and J, normally TxDOT provides the county with the project budget. And we already provided to TxDOT payment for those projects included in I and J. So these are additional funds that are being provided, but there's no project budget so that we can tell what costs were incurred and who's responsible. Because I think on that one, the city of Westlake also is involved.
Correct. We'll need to request reimbursements from the city of Wesco for their portion.
But I think what we would like to have is a project budget from TxDOT.
We requested an updated attachment C of the AFA. However, TxDOT advises they would not be submitting any revised budgets until the AFA is actually revised as well, once we get near to the next phase of development for the road project. They did give us a breakdown of the cost of how they came up allocating this. I guess if we can have this one approved, and then I'll request the same thing for the other one. If we could have it approved, subject to auditor review, that way we can set up a meeting between TxDOT, the engineering firm, our office, and the auditor's office, so that we can clear up as
And
far
then
as
you
how
can
the funds
request
were
that.
calculated, yes.
Okay. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23J is approval to issue check payable to the Texas Department of Transportation Trust Fund in the amount of $2,500 to cover additional engineering direct state costs associated with County Road 653, Las Mipas Road, which is over the South Floodway channel, and with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after processing procedures are completed by the auditor. And also, I would request that we approve this also subject to auditor review so that we can have a meeting on this project as well.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23K is approval of advance funding agreement between Hidalgo County and the Texas Department of Transportation for the FM 1925 project from FM 907 to Sharp Road, with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23K2 is approval of advance funding agreement between Hidalgo County and Texas Department of Transportation for the 10th Street Extension Project. This is from State Highway 107 to FM 1925, with authority for the county judge to sign the appropriate documents as well.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item 23K3 is approval to issue check payable to the Texas Department of Transportation Trust Fund in the amount of $150,800. This is to cover the county's estimated share of preliminary engineering and right-of-way, as well as direct state costs associated with the 10th Street project. This is with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after review and processing procedures are completed by the county auditor.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, a little comments on that one. That's been an ongoing project for several years. Obviously, we took it upon when I entered 4 years ago, but it's happy. We got last tracks to acquire, and soon we'll have the new extension of 10th Street from 107 to Monte Cristo. So, City of Edinburgh was a partner in that project, and I do acknowledge their participation, financial participation, and look forward to building that road.
Thank you, sir.
Item 23L is approval of 2014 interdepartmental transfer from the jail landmark funds to the countywide contingency in the amount of $680,888.02.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23M is authorization for a light audit and analysis with a vendor Enviro Light Solutions through the county's participation with the TASB Buy Board for countywide buildings.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Are they going to be looking into our bills, or are they going to be looking into how many lights we have, or that kind of
This will
thing?
have to do with the lighting, basically looking at the feasibility of doing a light retrofit for the counties.
In case we have been overbilled?
No,
No?
this is just to look at the lighting and look at what cost savings we can have for moving from the lighting that we currently have to LED lighting. And this is a free audit that they'll be doing, and then anything else would have to come back to court for
thank you.
approval.
Judge, Commissioners, regarding the audit of the bills, I know that had been a concern. I believe Marty and her folks have been developing an RFP and RFQ. We've been in
Okay.
discussions to work on that.
Thank you.
We'll be bringing it to you. We're just trying to find vendors that have done larger counties. Right now, we've only found vendors that do small counties, so we will be bringing that to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Item N.
Item N is 23N, discussion, consideration, and approval to abate the Urban County Program prior year accounts receivable in the amount of $33,759.98. This is just on expenses that we were not able to get reimbursed from the program. We're just requesting that we charge those to the county's general fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2301 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $273,746.05 to fund the issuance costs and fiscal agent fees for the certificates of obligation 2014.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $7 million. This is to fund the renovations to the Adult Detention Center and the Law Enforcement Center. And these are also from the certificates of obligation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3 is approval of the 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $510,000 to fund the purchase of heavy equipment for Precinct 1.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Regarding the refunding bonds, item 012 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $307,463.05. This is to fund the issuance costs and fiscal agent fees for the refunding bonds 2014.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And
Excuse me, can you announce, Erica, what was the amount of money that we saved on those bonds? I know it kept going up, started off at about 5-something, then 6-something, and 7-something. The ones that we had with Chris in the office the other day.
Okay. Those are for the drainage district, yes.
It was very close to $800,000.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I got confused. But how much money did we save?
800?
800.
Okay.
Item 2301C is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $103,012.85. And this is to fund the issuance costs and fiscal agent fees for the tax notes, Series 2014.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
We've already taken action on 02. On 2303 is approval of 2014 appropriation of funds in the amount of $408,780 for the preservation of books, and this is for the county clerk's record management and preservation fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. 24A1, action to amend agenda item 42568 for vehicle maintenance and repair services for county-owned vehicles, regular heavy equipment, machinery parts and repairs for vendors identified in the exhibit attached here too.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation for discussion, consideration, and approval to enter into an interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County and the City of Edinburgh for tire disposal and non-hazardous solid waste.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3A is approval of a sole source declaration for Mary Ann Perales, DBA Breath Test Services, for provision of breath alcohol testing services for Hidalgo County's Alcohol Breath Test Program services that will remain in effect unless revoked by Hidalgo County Commissioners Court.
Marty is a sole source, so this is the only individual that can provide those services?
Yes, this is also the only individual recognized through the state also as here available in this area to do this type of work. Because we have put it out before as a solicitation, we haven't gotten anybody else. And so she also works very closely with a state supervisor, and we've got his emails on it also.
Go ahead, Marty.
Oh, did you take action on A?
Not yet.
That's to approve the sole source declaration.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And B is authority to enter into an approval of a service contract with Mary Ann Perales for said services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
County Judge's Office is requesting approval of Exhibits A, requirements, and Exhibit B, valuation criteria for the Professional Energy Consulting Services project authorized for publication back on October the 28th.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Precinct 1, presentation of the sole bid received as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained herein, meeting all specifications and/or requirements for the purposes of award and approval of contract for the bid titled Disposal of Solid Waste Received at Precinct 1 Citizens Collection Stations to Transfer. This is through project number 374. We had 9 packets sent out, 1 received, and we recommend Republic Services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is approved for purchase for Precinct 1 2015 Peterbilt 348 series dump truck with standard equipment, including additional equipment or options, in a total of $121,449, and this is through our membership through TASB by Boards Awarded Vendor Rush Truck Center.
Move for approval.
Check.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For Precinct 2, approve payment of invoice number 2014-2148 in the amount of $103,994.40, submitted for professional services rendered by TEDSI Infrastructure Group under contract number 119 in connection with Dicker Road Project.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, for acceptance and approval of certificate of completion for Precinct 2's Gonzalez Zamora Subdivision Solar Light Project as certified through the project engineer, Raul Cecin, from Hidalgo County.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
And B is requesting approval of final payment application number 13933 in the amount of $170,169.70 from Facility Solutions Group. They are awarded through the TASB by Board Cooperative Purchasing Program and is certified for payment by Mr. Cecin.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For Health and Human Services, item E1, this is presentation of the responsible vendor, which is Clark Mosquito Controls Chemicals, submitting the lowest and best bid as detailed in the tabulation sheet attached here too. And this is for the purpose of award and approval of contract, and in no way to exceed the statutory threshold of $50,000. There were 6 packets sent, 3 bids received. These were solicited through quotes, and we do recommend Clark.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is acceptance and approval of the final negotiated contract between Network Sciences, ranked number 1 by Commissioners Court in November of 2014, Indigent Health Care Computer Services.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F for Facilities Management, acceptance and approval of award proposal received in the amount of $5,288.39 from Herrera and Hunt. This is a job order contractor through the Harris County Department of Education's program called Choice Facility Partners. And this is for the additional roof drain repairs of the old administration building.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, due to urgent need and to avoid any work stoppage for the renovations of the old administration building, requesting ratification and the issuance of purchase order 714344 for the proposal received through the Herrera and Hunt proposal register, through the Choice Facility Partners Co-op in the amount of $13,277.05 for the installation of 2 new roof drains.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Budget and Management requesting approval of contract number 123 with Palm Valley Animal Center, sole source vendor, approved by Commissioners Court in 2011, and it remains as a sole source for the impoundment and quarantine of small animals effective January 1st, 2015 through 2017.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. How much
H1.
money are we paying him this year, this coming year?
Valde, it's more than $500,000, right? Yeah, it's about $500,000.
Is it per animal or or for the service?
It's a lump sum for
No,
the
it's a lump-
service.
it's a lump sum
So
for the service.
It's regardless of the amount of,
Okay.
they're giving us a calculation, a
Right.
quantifying, saying, we take care of this many this year, we're anticipating this is what we need in order to function.
Judge, when I met with them, I proposed a joint type of project to address, as I call it, the unwanted pet population. They were someone's pet at some time. But it will involve discussions with the various cities so that we can address this issue. I know that your office has pushed projects to try and address this issue overall through low-cost spay-neuter, through
Programs, right.
through those programs. But we're going to meet and we're going to start talking to the city managers throughout the county, and we're going to see if we can do a concerted county-wide effort to address, again, as I call it, the unwanted pet population.
All right.
Item H1, Did we take the vote on the quarantine?
Yes.
Okay. Going to H1, the Colonia Access Program Precinct 1, acceptance and approval to execute a professional engineering contract for the provision of general engineering services for the Border Colonia Round 3 with Lefevre Engineering and Management Consulting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item I1, Colonia Access Program Precinct 3, discussion, consideration, acceptance, and approval of supplemental agreement 2 with Border Colonia Access Program Engineering Services contract with Javier Hinojosa Engineering to replace the existing Exhibit C project schedule with the amended Exhibit C.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, this is exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the 3 firms, Javier Hinojosa 98, Sames Incorporated at 90, and Isaguirre Engineering at 87. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for the purchasing department to negotiate a professional engineering services contract with Javier Hinojosa.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
For materials testing services, this is also an exemption from Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking, LNG Engineering 98, PSI 91, Isaguirre Engineering 88. Does the court wish to rank them in their order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority to permit purchasing to commence negotiations with the number 1 firm for material testing services on an as-needed basis, LNG Engineering.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item J1 for juvenile probation, approval to award job order contractor Herrera and Hunt, as we said, through the Choice Facility Partners Cooperative Purchasing Program Award in the amount of $63,852.85 for repairs and replacement of existing security fencing inside juvenile detention center located at 1711 North Bridge Street in Weslaco, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Item K, this is requesting authority to advertise and approval of qualifications, requirements, scope of services as attached here too for the professional pool and I'll just read the main one from A through F, and that is architectural engineering, which is geotechnical and construction materials testing, construction management services, appraisal, surveying, respectively, from A through E.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That is all I have. Everyone, please have a very safe and Merry Christmas.
Anything in closed session, Balde?
Yes, sir, we do have a closed session that we need to.
All right, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We will be in executive session. All right, we're back in open session. Item 26A, Figueroa.
Yes, thank you, Judge. 26A under open session. Item A, real estate acquisition, there's no action to be taken. B, pending potential litigation. Item B specifically, there's no action. Item C, under pending potential litigation. Judge, Commissioners, though we have discussed this and taken prior action, I did fail to exempt the firm that we asked to take care of this issue for us. And so I'm asking under pending potential litigation to refer back to item 7A1 and 2. Item 7A1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements. under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.024A4, professional service for the provision of legal services, representation in connection with litigation. I could have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item 2, I'm requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas Holland Rodriguez specifically to item C.
26C.
26C, pending and/or potential litigation for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement.
Need a motion to that effect?
Yes, sir.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Item 26D. There's no action at this time. 26E. Cause number D1GN 14004597, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas, a division of the Healthcare Service Corporation and Dearborn National Life Insurance Company versus the Honorable Greg Abbott, Attorney General of Texas and Hidalgo County, Texas. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to take action to give Mr. Rex Leach, who is representing us in this case, give him authority to go ahead and to sign a Rule 11 agreement on behalf of the county as it pertains to this case.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item F, C2749-13-G, Leiliana Ruelas and Deyanira Ruelas versus Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department and Gilbert Flores. Judge Commissioners, we will proceed as directed, and I will talk to Mr. Aguirre with respect to negotiating a closure to this case. Once we receive or we get to a proposed settlement, we will come back to Commissioners Court for formal action on that proposed settlement.
All right.
Item G, CL 13-1855A, Alberto Martinez versus Hidalgo County. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to take action on in settlement of this case in the amount of $8,500.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item H, CL 130827-F, Jose Alanis and Rosalinda Alanis versus the County of Hidalgo. Judge Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion in settlement of this case in the amount of $100,000. With that being said, I do want to put on the record that Hidalgo County's portion of the $100,000 proposed settlement agreement is in the amount of $37,500, and the difference of $62,500 to be borne by AAA Texas County Mutual Insurance Company. So again, if the court would take action on a settlement agreement of $100,000.
Need a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item I, claim of Frida Partners LLC. Judge Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,361.79.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And item J, claim of AT&T. Again, Judge Commissioners, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,278.97.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, before we break for the week, I would like to state for the record that we will be having a Commissioners Court session, but it will not be Friday. It will be Monday at 9:30 a.m. for purposes of the balance of the official bonds, and I believe there's one or two road and bridge action items that we need to take, which I will get with your offices.
And it's only the county. Am I correct?
Yes, it's only the county, not the drainage district. Correct.
Commissioner, funding that was discussed earlier.
Mr. Eufrasio, I'm going to get with legal as soon as we break, and I will take the appropriate measures for action, and if need be, if we do need to come back and take formal action, then that will be a discussion item or an agenda item for Monday.
Okay.
Okay?
Need a motion to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.